at striveonbob.com.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, proudly serving Bison Nation with reliable insurance coverage for your auto, farm, and home. Powered by unmatched financial strength and a prompt claim service team, let us put our more than 130 years of industry experience to work for you. Visit fmne.com to contact your local agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Hey Bison Nation, Andy Rickoff here to let you know the Insiders is hitting the road. This Wednesday, we're going to Sicky's Garage off 45th Street South in Fargo. Come on out and watch the show live with me and former Bison Kyle Emanuel, and we unveil my first top 15 FCS rankings of the year. NDSU yard signs, Bison swag, and premium NDSU giveaways all on site. The Insiders live from Sicky's Garage on 45th Street South this Wednesday from 11 to 1. Horns up.
We're with Chris Hoffman from Bonanza Agronomy. Chris, today's farmer does more than just grow crops.
Farmers also have to make payroll. Farmers also have to market crop. Farmers also have to run equipment. And, oh yeah, they have families too. The farmer has to wear many hats. So if he can take part of his operation and relinquish some control, remove the emotion from it, partner with an expert like Bonanza Agronomy, and let's put a plan together with somebody that's already been through this.
Find them on Facebook and bonanzaag.com.
If your current job is no longer fulfilling and your hard work and commitment isn't resulting in bigger paychecks, consider a change. Radio FM Media has an opening for an account executive. Successful people in this career are good at building and maintaining client relationships, helping clients succeed by utilizing radio, events, sports marketing, and digital campaigns. If this sounds like something that fits your personality and work ethic, and the idea of being in a creative, energized media environment excites you, send your resume to Jessica at radiofmmedia.com.
The construction is almost done at the Gateway Clearance Center, and the construction sale is going strong. No negotiations necessary, and payments starting as low as $99 a month. That's right, payments starting at just $99 a month at the Gateway Clearance Center, with a great selection of clean used cars, trucks, and SUVs. And right now, every vehicle is sale priced. Enjoy extra discounts for the construction sale going on now at Gateway Clearance Center on South University Drive in Fargo, or online at fmclearancecenter.com.
KQWB, West Fargo, Fargo-Moorhead, and KPFX, HD3 Kindred, Bison 1660. Powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
And here's what you need to know.
Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers agreeing to a restructured contract on Monday. Reports say Garoppolo becomes the highest-paid backup quarterback in the league, $6.5 million for the year with incentives and a no-trade clause. Some trades in the league this morning. The Saints are trading defensive back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to the Eagles after extension talks broke down. The Broncos are sending linebacker Malik Reed to the Steelers. Multiple outlets reporting the Ravens will sign free agent running back Kenyon Drake today, with J.K. Dobbins' Week 1 availability in doubt and Gus Edwards missing the first 4 games. It's cut-down day in the NFL. The Vikings waive quarterback Kellen Mond. Browns release quarterback Josh Rosen. The Colts release former Pro Bowl running back Phillip Lindsay. And the Chiefs cut veteran wide receiver Josh Gordon. And finally, Live Golf made official the arrival of 6 former PGA Tour players, including Open champion Cam Smith. I'm Nick Cope.
You've got the Insiders.
How you play today, from this moment on, is how you will be remembered.
That's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face.
Bringing you what you need to know and a whole lot more. Topics you care about, guests you know, and the conversations you came to hear. The Insiders are presented by Proseed. Need seed? Think Proseed. Now, here are the Insiders.
The Insiders.
The Insiders.
The Insiders.
Insiders.
The Insiders.
Andy Rickoff and Bison great Kyle Emanuel.
It's a Tuesday, game week, here with you on The Insiders. Andy Rickoff, Kyle Emanuel, the former Charger, former Bison, Buck Buchanan Award winner. Is there like how long you need to be away from NDSU to be eligible for the Hall of Fame? Do you know? Is there anything like that?
I have no idea.
No idea how that process works? Okay.
I am clueless to that fact.
If I get a vote, I'll vote for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I won't get a vote.
Okay. I don't even know who votes on it.
Yeah.
Someone
only
within...
Cole Jurek.
Well, then I'm not getting in.
You're never going to get in.
That's all right.
Not a chance. And Cole definitely would get in at that point. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely would.
We're here with you for the next couple of hours. Andy, Kyle, and Micah on the show. A fun show ahead as well. A couple of hours here, and there is plenty to talk about. I love when the calendar rolls into late August and early September because we prep, we plan. There's a lot to talk about, but there's so much going on that it fills up the show really quick when you got 2 hours and you got a couple of guys in here that like to talk football. And it's going to fill up today pretty quickly because of what happened yesterday with the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo back with them, a restructured deal. Obviously, Trey Lance is there. What does that mean for Trey? And how does that relationship work moving forward with those two and within the other members of that locker room? We'll touch on that here in just a bit. Missouri Valley Mix today since it is a Tuesday, and we're back. This is the first week of games, and there were games last week, so we're back to the full-bore, fully loaded double-barrel shotgun version of the Missouri Valley Mix with two guests on. We're talking about two teams in the Valley here this week, and it's brought to you by Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. Of course, we're talking with Brian Shawn, UND, taking on Nebraska. That's an FBS opponent. That's a Big Five opponent. And then also John Thayer with USD as the Coyotes take on a familiar foe, Kansas State and Chris Kleiman. So that's going to be an interesting one. Bob Nielsen, Chris Kleiman, again, matching up as head coaches there. And K-State, USD, the Wildcats, and the Coyotes. So John Thayer and Brian Shawn on the Missouri Valley Mix. And at 12:30 today, very happy to have Jen Lopez, head coach of NDSU Volleyball, on with us. They are 3-0, undefeated on the season after a great opening weekend. And they got some games going on again this week and flying out, I believe, on Thursday, if I heard correctly. So they are back. They're feeling good. Great start to the year for them. Jen Lopez will join us to talk NDSU volleyball. I will echo what Troy Gergen said yesterday on this program and what Derek Lang and Matt Larson have said recently. If you haven't been to the Benson Bunker Fieldhouse for a volleyball match when it is fully packed, I encourage you to go because those are always raucous environments, and it really is fun to be in there when it is full with Bison Nation, when you get that NDSU, SDSU, that NDSU, UND, hopefully for more matches as well for them here this season. But go there, support that volleyball team because they are off to a phenomenal start, and they are on the plane with Kyle on the way back, we heard. So.
Yeah, hopefully I'm just going to say, hopefully I inspired them a little. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't actually address the team. But no, it's always fun when you walk up to your gate and you're like, oh, a bunch of NDSU people. Okay, it's a volleyball team. And I was here when Jen was a player, and Kelly was an assistant on the strength staff when I was here too. So it was cool to run into those guys.
Yeah. Did you know Jen at all your playing days? Did you guys
a little
overlap?
Bit. Yeah,
a bit?
little. Yeah. I think she was a year older than me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So yeah, she's back here. I'm sure you guys were familiar with each other, saw each other. It's like, oh,
yeah,
this is your team. Ah, that makes sense.
Right.
There you go.
It was fun to see.
I remember once on a spring break trip, I ran into a couple of football players actually.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know who they were at the time. This was my first year at NDSU. It was Bryce Messner and a few others.
Oh yeah.
So it was a spring break thing. So just kind of
where'd you go?
I think it was just Florida. That's where I was going.
Just
at least.
Florida.
Yeah, it was Minneapolis. I don't know if that's where they ended up going, but that's where I ended up going.
I gotcha.
At least
my coolest spring break trip until my senior year. I went to Mexico my senior, but every other one I just went home to Skyler.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Pretty lame.
Back to the Twin Cities.
Like a lot of money at the time. Like
Yeah.
I had to ask my parents, like, "Hey, can you help me out here to go to Mexico one time? I want to do one spring break trip in my college career." So, other than that, just back to went south at least. Went south, but
I've still never been to Mexico.
Too far south, really?
Yeah.
You'd
encourage it?
It's a nice place.
Recommend
I mean, you had an all-inclusive resort. I mean, and you're on the beach. It can't
be bad.
Can't really go. Yeah, it can't be a bad experience. So
fair point. So Jen Lopez at 12:30. Also, we'll hear from our friend Nate Weber at Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, your corporate game week sponsor for Week 1, NDSU and Drake. The season opener, we know, obviously, Boots meeting the ball inside the Fargo Dome, Gate City Bank Field, 2:30 for NDSU and the Bulldogs of Drake, raising the banner beforehand. There's going to be, running out. You got the tunnel walk, run out of the helmet, but there's an extra light show that's happening right before they run out of the helmet this year. So some different things going on the video boards. You got the T-shirt, the Gatling gun for the T-shirts, the false start counter, which is my favorite thing that they're adding this year.
I do like that.
I love that. Buffalo Wild Wings is, Buffalo Wings are on the line, Bison Nation. So get loud. Force the false starts.
If you needed any more motivation, which you shouldn't have, but if you did, now you got free wings on the line.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
not only are you helping out your team by being loud, now you get free food.
Yeah.
I mean, Come on.
Get loud. Get really, really loud. Get raucous. Get those false starts because the media people were in attendance, so we get the free food too, right? So that works.
Know how
Is that how that works? You're at the game.
WDAY usually brings Buffalo Wild. I think it's. I think. Yeah,
there's
Buffalo,
always food out there. We do get taken care of extremely well.
So I think we'll be okay regardless.
We'll be okay, but still for the fans, be loud because
absolutely.
One, it helps the team, and two, you got food on the line. Everyone likes free food. So that's going on this year at the Fargo Dome, plus alcohol sales and a whole lot more.
You can't forget the beer, and the seltzers are getting sold as well. And the tailgating scene sounds like it's going to be even better and crazier.
The
Maybe not crazier, but better than
6 foot by 9 foot TV with you on it.
That doesn't hurt.
No.
Okay, I wasn't going to say that, but thanks for the plug.
Welcome.
Yeah, so you got the pregame show going on. You got a place to tailgate if you don't have a home. Now there's a place for the public, 21 plus, I believe, and there might be a place for kids as well. I'm not sure on that, but a new enhancement to the tailgating scene, which is also like we had Derek Lang in here yesterday. He was talking about like that's a huge part of the whole game day experience outside of the Fargo Dome. It takes place outside of the dome, but still a big part of it. And I think I probably won't be able to see it a lot because I'm doing stuff before the game, but hopefully eventually one day I will get to see it, and I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Obviously, you played, so you're never in the tailgate lot really for then. But yes, you did tell me the red shirt year you were out there a little bit.
Yeah, it was completely different. I mean,
completely
like I
different.
said, we were in like a dirt lot, and now it's.
Did you ever go between like playing days and starting with the TV? Because obviously you can't now. But
I've been out there a couple times.
I've only been out twice.
I went out actually last year for a little bit during one of the playoff games because we had the pregame show, and then we didn't do the broadcast. So I went out for a while because my wife's family came to the game and her brother was in town, so we went out and got to experience a little bit. That was cool too because that was at night and it was freezing cold, but it's still always just fun, just a great time.
Awesome time. Yeah, so go out there, enjoy it. If you're not going to be at the games, you're going to miss something this year because there's exclusive prizes that you can only get at the game, text to win prizes, T-shirts that are limited edition, only going to be thrown out at the games. A lot of reasons to be at the Fargo Dome, NDSU and Drake. We will preview that game a little bit. Also, maybe a couple of clips from head coach Matt Entz, who had his first weekly press conference yesterday, which you could hear on this station, Bison 1660, every single week at 2 o'clock on a Monday, thanks to Bonanza Egg. So the coach spoke for the first time. We saw the first depth chart. All got to react to that one. There were, I believe, 4 oars in there, which is not really a surprise. The middle linebacker, Sam linebacker, I believe there was a receiver oar and a place kicker oar.
And
battles.
And a defensive end oar for the second spot. I think it was LaShaka Rokes or Dylan Hendricks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we know all those guys are going to play along the defensive line. We talked about that a ton, how much they rotate. But, yeah, there's just so much depth on this team that it makes sense. Right? You have so many guys coming back that have played going into game one. I think that had to be a hard job. A good problem to have, no doubt, but a hard job for those coaches to kind of try and evaluate, okay, who is kind of taking that step ahead of the next guy. And it's hard to do before you've played a game. So you see a lot of oars.
Yeah, and you have to be honest, in a game like Drake, there's a chance a lot of players are going to play. So you're going to get a chance to see those players in game action and what that's going to look like. That's one of the reasons you have some of these games, so you can get experience for some other players out there. But a fun show on tap for the next couple of hours. As always, the show brought to you by Proseed. If you need seed, think Proseed. Can't go any further into the show without doing the shout-out. Thank you very much, Nick and Mary, Savage, Minnesota. Great people in Savage, hometown. Very loyal listeners to the program. I walk in today, and there is a box with a note on it on my desk, and the box is from Sandy's Donuts, and I always love those kind of boxes. It'd be really cruel if someone put that on there and there wasn't donuts inside, by the way. I just thought about that.
Be a funny prank.
That would be so cruel to do that.
To do that one of
That's
these
a
days.
good one for like April Fools or something. Might save this box now. But they were nice enough to drop off some donuts for us for the opening game week. It's a tradition they have done for many years, and they say Bison Nation's nothing if not for their traditions. So they're going to keep doing it. They sent one here today over to the studio. I indulged in a maple bacon long john because it has protein, so it's healthy for you.
Is that your reasoning?
That's the reasoning, and I'm sticking to it. That was the donut of choice today for me. Kyle, you said you were going to have one. Micah has refused, which tells me he hates our listeners. But hopefully I can convince him to have one a little bit later. But big thank you to Nick and Mary. Obviously, you're having a little bit of fun there. But not going to say they're my favorite listeners, just saying I like donuts. So
yeah,
going to throw that one out there.
I was excited. I walk around, we got these big glass windows. I walk around and I see Sandy's Donuts. And you know me, Andy. Like I get hungry towards the end of the show.
Everyone does.
Anytime, we're going to be at Sicky's tomorrow. I'm fired up about that. And now we got donuts today. I mean, we're spoiled here.
We'll be at Shields on Thursday. There is food inside Shields.
So
we can go get something.
It must be game week.
Must be game week.
Must
exactly. Be. So shout out to Nick and Mary. I appreciate that very much. Also, before we get any further, I want to make sure we mention all the things that we are giving away this week. Somebody asked me, are there any giveaways? I said, oh boy, yes. Yes, there are a few. And if you haven't already, make sure you are following our Facebook page, our Twitter page. A lot of the giveaways are put up on there. A lot of the information about different guests that are coming on, giveaways, prizes, where the show is going to be in terms of on-location shows is really all there for you on our social media channels and also on our website, bison1660.com. But here's a rundown. We've got Call Your Shot is back. So on Friday, go to our Facebook page, look for the graphic, the post that says Call Your Shot. You comment on that post with the score and the winner of Saturday's game before kickoff, and whoever is closest to the correct score and winner of the game will win a free night stay, courtesy of Homewood Suites in Fargo. There is one giveaway. That's on Friday. Call Your Shot, brought to you by Homewood Suites. Appreciate them for teaming up with us once again. Done that for many years. We've got the Friday tailgate, ultimate tailgate package, courtesy of our good friends at Bud Light, the official beer of the Bison. That is also on Friday, but there is a keyword element to that, a text-to-win element to it. We already have the post. It is up on our Facebook page right now with the keyword attached to the post. So go there, find out what the keyword for this week is. That will change every week. So don't text that keyword again next week. You won't be entered to win. That keyword will change every week. You text the keyword to 701-476-1660. Then you are registered for a shot to win the ultimate tailgate package, a case of Bud Light, the official beer of the Bison, and also Bison 1660 swag there as well. I believe there are some glasses, some glassware involved in the winner for our ultimate tailgate package. Every Friday at about 11:50, the final segment of the first hour, we will announce the winner. And when I forget, Michael will remind me, and then we'll do it in the first segment of the second hour. Those are the two opportunities there. I won't miss it. I promise.
There's a lot of stuff there. Am I eligible for these things?
I don't believe you are.
Okay. Shoot.
I already gave you a sign and a donut.
That's right. You're right. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Fair enough.
Technically, you didn't give him a donut.
Nick and Mary gave him a
That's
donut.
true. Thank you, Nick.
Or
and
multiple
Mary.
donuts if you want multiple. There are
I don't
more
think
than
I
one.
can do
in there.
multiple. I'm just coming off a vacation.
There's a good chance I go multiple today.
You should.
But on our Facebook page, Brian has a question for you, Andy. He's wondering about the Bison 1660 merch, and he's looking for wondering when the hoodies come out.
Oh, the hoodies? Well, I can give you some information on that as well, Brian. We give them away at all of our stops on the Bison 1660 Road Tour, brought to you by The Bridges. Tour the Bridges now by NDSU, or go online to bridgesnd.com. And it's going to be different this year because we've done the hoodies, right? Most people have a hoodie. Some people have two hoodies. So we changed it up a little bit this year.
If you're me, you have like 17.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, too many.
Too many hoodies,
I don't
right?
even wear them all.
Your wife's going to be like, force you to cut down so she can get more closet space at this point.
She already has the majority of the
Yeah,
closet.
she wants more, though.
Don't
She's coming
worry
for the
about
rest
that.
of it. Yeah. So we switched it up a little bit. No hoodies. We're going Bison 1660 T-shirts from CI Sport. It's a T-shirt look. It's a different feel, a cool material as well, and a great design by the folks there at CI Sport. We will give those away at the Bison 1660 Road Tour stops. Also, post-game, we'll have some of those to give away, which is at Applebee's, the north location Applebee's this year, right by the Fargo Dome. So you're at the game, come a block north to the north of the Fargo Dome to Applebee's, Fargo North location. That's where Bison Hotline will be after every game, home or away, every game this year, other than the Arizona game, because that post game is at like 1:30 in the morning. Other than that game, we will be at Applebee's post game for Bison Hotline. We'll have giveaways there. We'll have tickets to give away at post game as well. Myself, James Hendricks, Chris Hansen will be there. I'll rope-a-dope Kyle into it 1 week or something like that during the year, and we'll have a blast over there at Applebee's, and I'll have to order the Bourbon Street steak and the Oreo shake at least one time.
You had to do that again.
At least one.
You should probably make that a tradition, and you have to get that every single week.
Probably wouldn't be very bad.
I mean, it could,
could be great.
Steak and a shake. I mean, it can't be, like you said, it can't be horrible.
Yeah, exactly. Surf and turf, that's just steak and shake.
Yeah.
It's even better.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that is kind of the lowdown. Also, so we got the Ultimate Tailgate Package. That's on Friday. We'll announce that at 11:50. Got Call Your Shot, which will be out on Friday. Got a comment before the game. If you're closest, you win the giveaway there from Homewood Suites. So those are two of our big ways to win. And then I also mentioned the Bison Road Tour. Come on out to all of our stops. We'll be at Sickies on Wednesday, Shields on Thursday, and then every other week after this week, it will be Sickies on Thursday at the 45th Street location. Don't come to the spot we were last year. Different location for Sickies this year. They've opened up a new spot. Still got the old spot, but a new spot where we will be at this year, the 45th Street location. James Hendricks will be there this week. We'll have a whole bunch of guests, and it'll be my first top 15 of the year. And Cole Jurek told me he cannot make it, unfortunately. He has something else planned this Wednesday, so he's going to miss the top 15.
Tomorrow?
That's what my reaction was as well.
You're doing it tomorrow? Is that what I heard?
Tomorrow.
Or next week?
Tomorrow at Sicky's.
So you're doing a preseason top 15?
Of course, you got to do the preseason top 15.
That one's harder to rip apart.
Yeah, you can find a way.
You can find a way, but it's...
Mine, I'll say this. I have already worked on it. Jeff always accused me of never prepping it.
Like doing it like 5 minutes before?
Yeah, which might have happened a time or two. Mine looks a little different than like the Hero Sports or the Stats FC.
Okay, good.
A little bit.
It should.
And this is my own one. I don't have like 10 people voting on it, so it's just what I think. And
you should
Valley Big Sky Invitational is what I've said all summer long, and I don't think I think it reflects in my poll. I'll put it that way.
Do you have like every single team in the Valley?
It's literally just the Valley standings.
Just the Valley.
Yeah.
No,
it's not that bad, but it's close.
How many teams are in the Valley now? 12, 11?
Something like that. Murray State's in there.
Murray State's in there, yeah.
Absolutely. First year not even in the conference yet, actually, but just kind of honorary member at this point.
Yeah.
We will release that top 15, though, tomorrow on the show, probably around noon when James Hendricks is on, because then Kyle and James can both rip it apart. I feel like that's fair.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm all for it. So a bunch of different ways you guys can win. You guys can listen to the show. Once you get to this time of the year, I mean, everything just kind of writes itself. We got so many shows on location. Phil Hansen's going to join us every Monday. Easton's every Tuesday. Starting next week at the Missouri Valley Mix on Tuesday. James Hendricks will join us every single week. I'm sure we'll get Cole to join us, Kyle to join us. So kind of writes itself.
Fun stuff.
There's a lot of Bison football conversation.
Yeah, and the best part is next week we can stop speculating about some things.
Exactly.
Right? We actually have a game to talk about.
We can react.
A game analysis.
We can overreact.
Overreaction.
We can underreact even.
Was the meat sandwich thing? Was that a Jeff Colhane trademark? Like we can't use that or we get sued? Is that how that works?
Well, we'll find out.
Does he have a lawyer like ready to go?
Meat sandwich of overreaction on a Monday. I just said it. So
okay, so we're good.
If I say it, if I get something in the mail like a subpoena or trademark infringement, we'll know.
We can say that was like his parting gift to the station. Like we can still use meat.
He gets "Oh Baby" and "Trot in There, Baby." He can't trademark everything. Come on.
He's
not Tom Brady.
Those? Can you trademark something like that?
Well, I think he tried to.
So. Yeah. Like
he's at least keeping them.
Who was it that tried to trademark a saying? It was some celebrity. Oh gosh, I'm gonna forget. But
something like an Aaron Rodgers thing.
No, it wasn't an athlete. It was like maybe it was. Well, I think didn't LeBron try to trademark like Taco Tuesday or something?
Yeah, he did. Taco Tuesday. He tried to trademark for himself.
Ric Flair tried to trademark the man.
Yep. And then I want to say it was like Paris Hilton or something. Tried trademarking something crazy. I don't remember, but I'll look it up in one of the breaks.
Okay.
See if I can find
There's
it.
a tease for later on in the show. Kyle will figure out something he thought he knew, but he didn't know right now. Later on, we'll do a whole bunch of conversation around the Valley as well. But right now, let's take a break. Our first break of the show. We'll come back, and there was big news in the NFL yesterday and around NDSU circles because it affects Trey Lance. The 49ers are keeping a hold of Jimmy G. I was wrong. I said they weren't going to. I am wrong. I will admit that. The 49ers are keeping Jimmy G. How does that affect Trey? How does that affect that team and that locker room? We'll get Kyle Emanuel's thoughts on that when we come back on The Insiders.
Bison Nation, your exclusive home for North Dakota State athletics. Bison 1660.
I think what makes Proceed win is we're different than the other companies in many ways with our programming, our simplicity, our non-corporate attitudes, and our personal relationship building.
What Proceed is, we bring back the old-fashioned seed buying experience. We're true seedsmen. We care about everything from the sale to the planting to following up afterwards. That's what we're all about, is just trying to bring that experience back to a personal level.
Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
Get your tickets now for NDSU football's home opener. NDSU takes on Drake University on September 3rd. Get your tickets online at gobison.com/tickets. You'll see the national championship banner raising, and you'll be part of the herd thundering towards another national championship. Before the game, make sure to stop out to the Bison Corral Beer Garden and grab some food in Thunder Alley with 2 new food trucks, Twisted Spork and Lopez Tacos. Be a part of the season opener Saturday, Saturday, September 3rd. Get your tickets today at GoBison.com.
Finally, beautiful weather is here, and so is a summer of fun. That means more time in your car. Make sure your vehicle is ready at one of the 3 locally owned Jiffy Lubes of Fargo. Oil changes are the #1 maintenance item that's neglected. At Jiffy Lube of Fargo, it's easy. No appointment needed. Just drive up and drive in for your signature service oil change. Plus a check on the priority items to make sure your vehicle is working hard and can get you everywhere you want to go this summer. Jiffy Lube of Fargo has proudly served the Fargo-Moorhead Metro for over 5 decades. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, where you can do more in a jiffy.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, proudly serving Bison Nation with reliable insurance coverage for your auto, farm, and home. Powered by unmatched financial strength and a prompt claim service team, let us put our more than 130 years of industry experience to work for you. Visit fmne.com to contact your local agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
When it's time to find a realtor, word of mouth is important, and Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty is a name Bison Nation says often. Todd has helped everyone from coaches and administrators to broadcasters and former players and their families buy homes in the FM area. So many in Bison Nation trust Todd to buy and sell their homes, and you can too. Call Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty today or visit him in person at 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd is a proud partner and the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty, moving the herd one home at a time.
Every fan loves an explosive play on the field when someone breaks free and takes it to the house. Take that feeling anywhere with the explosive taste of Bud Light Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of the NDSU Bison. Bud Light Seltzer is always the right call for game day. The bold flavor of the hard soda variety pack and the all-new seasonal apple slices flavors will definitely score points with your team in the tailgate zone or inside the Fargo Dome. Bud Light Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of the NDSU Bison. Please drink responsibly, never drink and drive.
This is NDSU head men's basketball coach Dave Richmond, and you're listening to The Insiders on your home for NDSU Athletics, Bison 1660.
Welcome back to The Insiders, a Tuesday edition of the show. Happy to be with you alongside Micah Bindi. Stream's working great today. You can watch our show on Facebook. Facebook.com, Bison1660 there, brought to you by Horsch. Hello, everybody watching. He's got all the comments locked down there. Anybody else comment? Anything else new there?
Just Brian saying thank you.
Thank you, Brian. We appreciate you. Horsch, farming with passion online at Horsch.com. And we're here with you inside the Thayer Ethanol Broadcast Center. Thayer Ethanol is one of the nation's largest ethanol facilities, a 175 million gallon per year ethanol plant located just west of Castleton. Fuel your future and join the growing team today. View open positions at ThayersonEthanol.com. I did forget one. We have another way to win. Believe it or not. I forgot
this.
One.
I hope this is all online.
Oh, yeah. It's all online. Yeah. And there'll be more updates, and I'll keep reminding people.
Good.
But in the tailgate lot on Saturday, every home game, actually every game, but home games in the tailgate lot, find Chris Hansen. He'll be around where Radio FM Media is at in the tailgate lot, Bison Grill. He'll be around there somewhere. He's got gift cards from Twin Peaks for our tailgater of the game. Our tailgater of the game from Twin Peaks this year. Great to have them aboard with everything. And find Chris Hansen every home game. He'll be out in the tailgate lot giving away a gift card to Twin Peaks. So he'll do that. We'll post it on our Facebook pages. And on road games, since there is no tailgating, well, people send in pictures of their tailgate, and we'll pick one every week as our tailgater of the week. So more ways to win. That's what we do.
So many ways to win.
So many ways.
Get involved, people. Yeah. There's a lot of fun things happening. Not just around Bison football, but also around this station and all the things that we're giving away.
Oh, very nice of you to say.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Do I get to tease my or fulfill my tease now?
Yes, you can.
So if you were listening before the break, we're talking about trademarks and things. I was correct. It was Paris Hilton, and she tried to trademark "That's hot." The saying, the phrase, that's hot. And I can't confirm whether or not she got the trademark or not, but I think she might have. So there you go. I didn't want to. I know there's so many people out there just hanging on the edge of their seats, driving, whatever they're doing. They wanted to know. They needed that information from me, and now I delivered it.
Who was that? Who was that person that Kyle thought trademarked something? Wasn't sure what it was or who it was. It was Paris Hilton. Now they know.
It was Paris Hilton, and it was "That's hot."
That is hot.
So there we go. Now we can move on.
And hopefully we haven't just got, billed by Paris Hilton.
Well, we should be fine because we're not selling anything.
We're not selling anything.
So we're just confirming it.
Then at the very least we should be just fine. couple minutes here before the Missouri Valley Mix at 11:30. Brian, Shawn, and John Thayer will stop by. We'll dive into the Trey Lance stuff specifically and maybe get more in-depth on it at probably noon. But NFL Cutdown Day, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, Tom Pellis, all those guys, they're just texting nonstop, tweeting nonstop about every person that's gotten cut, which is like hundreds of people across the NFL today and yesterday. This day, obviously difficult on a lot of NFL players. We dove into that side of it a little bit with you yesterday. The other side of it is some players stick around that you're not sure they're going to, and that was Jimmy G yesterday getting a restructured contract with the 49ers. I thought he was going to be gone. He is not gone. Albert Breer was on with the Dan Patrick Show today talking about that. A lot of people are talking about it really throughout the entire country. We do have a soundbite from the Dan Patrick Show. Albert Breer was on there and talking about how this deal came to be and what it means here going forward for San Francisco.
And I think this would be different if there was like a clear-cut suitor for Jimmy Garoppolo out there. But because of the timing of the shoulder surgery, that never really that never really materialized, and so it left them in this position where they had to do something creative. And again, like I think the keys are here. Jimmy's making less than Trey. This doesn't happen unless Jimmy's willing to take less than Trey in base pay. And it's been made clear not just to Jimmy and Trey, but also to the other leaders in the team, the guys like Fred Warner and Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel and Trent Williams. It's been made clear to all of those guys that Trey Lance is our guy, and absent injury, we plan on riding through any sort of bumps with him.
So that is kind of what went down there. You can say that it's not going to be a problem, but you feel like it's going to be a thing in the locker room right now. How does that affect the locker room? Not just Trey and Jimmy, but everyone in that locker room.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect them right now, present day. I'm sure there's a lot of guys in that locker room that love them both, and there's probably some guys that are happy about it. You know, it never hurts to have an insurance policy at the quarterback position. True. The 49ers, he also said, I was listening to that on my drive-in, and he also talked about how, you know, the 49ers are a team that they think they can compete for a championship. You know, they think they have a roster that could win a Super Bowl. They've been there before. They come close. And, you know, if you get rid of Jimmy G and something happens to Trey Lance, now – who do you got left? You know, now is your season pretty much over because you lost your quarterback? They didn't want that. So, you know, I look at this two ways. I think from an organizational standpoint, I don't think it's a terrible move by San Francisco in terms of, like I said, now you have an insurance policy there for Trey Lance at the quarterback position. If as far as like the contract goes, he's making less money. He's making less than Trey. So you have that option there too. You also didn't lose him for nothing, right? That was kind of the fear. Like you have to just release him. They get like a compensatory draft pick or something, like a 6th rounder or something like that. So it's a win from that standpoint. But on the other hand, how does this affect your starting quarterback? Now, I don't know. Trey might be a little bit different for me. For me, this would put a little more pressure on me. Football is a game of mistakes, right? We all know this. Like there's no such thing as a perfect game. Like Trey's gonna make mistakes this year. With no Jimmy G there, I feel like he just kind of rolls with it, right? Mistakes happen. I roll with it. I move on. I continue to get better. Now that there's a guy there, it's not so much the locker room for me. It's the fan base. How's the fan base going to react to this? Are they going to start pushing if Trey struggles a little bit? I know they're saying all the right things, and we're committed to Trey, and regardless of what happens, all the bumps in the road, we're going to stick with him. But this just adds a different element that I don't know if you want. So it's a difficult situation. I don't know what the correct answer was to be. I think for Trey, the best option was for him to be released, for him to not be on the roster, but there was no one that wanted him, and now this gives the 49ers a chance, not only for that insurance policy, but now maybe they can trade him away later on if he approves it because there is that no-trade clause.
Yeah, he is making less than Trey. She's like a massive pay cut from like 24 to 6, but he does have a no-trade clause in there. Maybe he still gets traded if the guy gets injured, something else happens, someone doesn't perform very well, and a team that thinks they can go to the Super Bowl or can make a little bit of a run. So not to say he won't get traded, but most likely he's going to be there, and that obviously affects Trey. It affects that locker room. You can say all the right things, but when Trey has a bad game, which he's going to have, he hasn't played in almost 3 years. It's bound to happen. He's like 22. He's going to have a bad game or two. It's about when those games come and how bad is it, and do you stack bad games? You probably don't want to do that, but even if everyone inside internally is saying the right things and Trey's okay there, you're going to get the questions from the media. And the question's going to be that stuff's not going away.
All season long, they're going to be asking
whether the team wants them to or not. Those aren't going.
Unless the team starts 3-0 and Trey's playing phenomenally, then they go away for a little bit, but then
until you lose,
come right back. Yeah, so it's just it's going to be there. I think now the perfect situation is, Trey plays well. They're week 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. A team needs a quarterback, and they're able to trade him. Something like that.
That's the ideal situation. We do have live shows, like we've mentioned. The Bison 1660 Road Tour kicks off tomorrow at Sicky's, on Thursday at Shields, and a whole bunch of locations throughout the month of September. Go to our website, bison1660.com, for a full list of locations. And the Road Tour is brought to you by the Bridges Apartments. They make college living easy. Lease now and get 1 month free. You can tour the bridges near NDSU today or online at bridgesnd.com. They have all-inclusive pricing, everything included in your monthly lease. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Missouri Valley Mix with Brian Shawn and John Thayer is next.
Your home for the Thundering Herd. Bison 1660.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Proudly serving Bison Nation with reliable insurance coverage for your auto, farm, and home. Powered by unmatched financial strength and a prompt claim service team. Let us put our more than 130 years of industry experience to work for you. Visit fmne.com to contact your local agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Always alongside you.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update on Bison 1660.
Perfect sunny conditions for today and the next couple of days in the Red River Valley. 82 degrees for a high and a slight 5-mile-per-hour wind. Tonight, still clear skies and a low in the mid-50s. This weather update brought to you by FM Truck Sales, your one-stop shop for good, clean, quality used trucks, including over-the-road, dump trucks, farm trucks, and more. FM Truck Sales in Moorhead. Check them out for good, clean trucks for any size job. Online,
We take great pride in really doing all the research and the work behind the scenes to make sure that our products just work.
We have our own staff member that helps pick the hybrids and the varieties that work in our area. It's meant for you, not for somebody 200 miles away.
We test our seed locally. We produce our seed locally, so we get to see our production fields, where they need to be, and if they work there.
Need seed? Think Proseed. Proseed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
I'm Emily. I had my LASIK surgery here at Vance Thompson Vision. Being in the healthcare field, the highest technology is huge for patients. For me, that was the leading choice and why I chose to go with Vance Thompson Vision. Life without glasses in the operating room has been incredible for me. There's no more fogging. There's no more having issues with my glasses sliding down on my face. It's been great for me.
Call 877-522-EYES to schedule a free consultation.
Homewood Suites wants you to feel at home. This upscale extended stay brand understands that being away from home can be challenging. So Homewood Suites in North Fargo has designed their amenities to make life easier for you. At Homewood, you can relax in a variety of suites with full kitchens, complimentary hot breakfast, outdoor grills, and recreational areas that make stays more familiar. When you need to be away, but you still want to feel like home, choose Homewood Suites by Hilton. Find out more and book a stay at homewoodssuites.com.
When it's time to find a realtor, word of mouth is important, and Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty is a name Bison Nation says often. Todd has helped everyone from coaches and administrators to broadcasters and former players and their families buy homes in the FM area. So many in Bison Nation trust Todd to buy and sell their homes, and you can too. Call Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty today or visit him in person at 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd is a proud partner and the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. Moving the herd one home at a time.
You may not have heard, but the Insiders is now under new management.
Did you see the memo about this?
It's Kyle Emanuel and Andy Rickoff.
And I'll go ahead and make sure you get another copy of that memo. Okay?
The Insiders on Bison 1660.
Just after 11:35, there's the 5, on the Insiders on a Tuesday going into game week. Got a game on Saturday and games across the landscape of college football. That's the best part. Not just NDSU's playing, but you can wake up and just watch game after game from like 11 to 11. You can just keep on going on through all through like USC and Oregon and all the teams out there in California, which will soon be in the Big Ten, as we found out already, for the next couple of years. But college football is back, NFL is back, not this weekend, but the following weekend, and everything picks right up. I had another fantasy football draft. Man, football season. It is here full bore, and we absolutely love it. And that means as well, every Tuesday during the football season, we run the Missouri Valley Mix.
The Missouri Valley Mix.
Our first guest up on the mix is UND's own Brian Shawn, the play-by-play voice for the Fighting Hawks, nice enough to give us some time. Midcoast Sports, Shawn with us. Hello, sir. It's game week. How you feeling?
It is game week. It's almost September. It's hard to believe we're almost at this point, but man, it's exciting.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And UND starts it off with a fun one. Maybe not for the guy sitting across from me, but a fun one for them for sure. They take on an FBS opponent with Nebraska down there in Lincoln. What's the fan base feeling like ahead of a big chance to knock off an FBS Power 5 opponent?
Well, I think it's just exciting for the fan base to have a regional game against a Big Ten opponent. It's the first Big Ten opponent for UND since 1976. So it's going to be a fun opportunity. I know they have some events around Lincoln that they're hopefully going to get some fans to come down and experience this whole thing, but a chance to play in front of this many people at Memorial Stadium is a really good opportunity. And, we'll see what happens when the lights come on. I'm sure Nebraska is going to have extra motivation to be extra sharp after what happened against Northwestern in Dublin on Saturday. So we'll kick it off and kind of see how the two teams match up and see how it goes.
Yeah, Brian, you kind of answered my question, but I obviously have my own opinion on this, but I want to get yours. What do you expect to see from this Nebraska team? Obviously, with what you just mentioned, coming off that loss to Nebraska, everything going on in the media with Scott Frost, coming back from a overseas plane flight, what do you expect to see from this Nebraska team, and how do you think these two teams match up, specifically in the trenches where I thought Nebraska got manhandled last week?
Yeah, I was surprised, Kyle. To be that was my biggest takeaway. I thought the offensive line for Nebraska would be able to assert itself, and it didn't. I mean, Northwestern was the more physical team up front. I was really surprised. I think Scott Frost was surprised by that. The fact that they gave up 530 yards of offense to Northwestern, only ran for 110 yards. That, to me, is where those guys are going to be challenged and motivated to show that was an anomaly and not what they're going to be, because that was not the performance I think they were anticipating out of their front seven on defense, or certainly their offensive line on Saturday. So how they match up, how North Dakota matches up, we'll see. It's going to be a tough matchup for North Dakota. I think the offensive line for UND is still probably the biggest question mark. There's 3 new pieces in the interior. We don't exactly know how they're all going to come together and how they're going to fit and how they're going to match up against a really long physical group, tough physical group that Nebraska brings. And they got some dudes up there, I think, that didn't perform as well, that will be motivated, have extra motivation to show that they're a much better football team than what they showed, and certainly in the trenches. But whether or not, to me, North Dakota's offensive line holds up and they're able to establish any sort of ground game will dictate if they're going to be able to make this a game into the fourth quarter and give themselves a chance. But it's going to be a challenge for sure.
Brian Shawn here with us on the Missouri Valley Mix. This is obviously a road game at Lincoln, and it's a tough road game, so if you don't win it, it's not like the end of the world. You're not necessarily expected to go into a Power 5 opponent and walk out with a win. But last year, I see some good performances at home. It was the road venues again, Brian, that I feel like tripped up UND a couple of times. What do they have to do this year, not just in this game, but overall to fix some of the road woes, so to speak?
Well, a lot of those games were decided in the fourth quarter, and a huge emphasis of fall camp for UND, and they've worked on it a lot. Just even up at practice today, a lot more stuff in the 2-minute drill to find out how their teams can play when the game is on the line late, and a lot more situational football and scenarios that they've been able to install, just because they realized they were a handful of plays from winning a few more games and maybe a handful of plays from losing a couple more games too. So. They were in every game for the most part last season, but just didn't finish in the fourth quarter. And I think that's been the big focus with this team is trying to find a way in the fourth quarter to make plays in crunch time. And when you're on the road, you have to find a way to make more plays than the other, and probably most importantly, not beat yourself and not come up with huge mistakes when things are on the line. So that's going to be huge for North Dakota, I think, this year, and what their focus is going to be. And going on the road, that's, as you well know, Kyle, you guys have been on the road. North Dakota State's been so good on the road over the years. You just got to be solid. You got to be the more physical team up front. You can't beat yourself with silly penalties and pre-snap stuff or missed assignments. And if you do that and play your game and at least give yourself a chance, that's all you can hope for.
Brian, I've gone on record to say that I think this game is going to be close, at least in the first half. I think UND is going to keep it a one-score game, or at least close to that at halftime. What do you think this team, what's ideally, we'll just talk specifically in the first half, where do you think this team needs to be to give themselves a chance in that second half? And I guess two-part question is, for UND, is this a game they were kind of expecting to win, or could you get a moral victory out of losing to a Big Ten opponent if it is a close game?
Well, I think they're going down there with the expectation that they're going to compete with Nebraska and give themselves a chance to win. Now, do they go out there expecting to win? I don't know. I haven't talked to enough of the guys. I haven't gotten that vibe to know if that's really the mindset. But the guys I've talked to, I think they believe they can compete with Nebraska. They feel like they have the experience and depth at some positions, and guys with experience that they're expecting to go in there and play with them. Now, again, things have to go your way early. You can't be chasing points. That's number one thing for North Dakota, is not falling behind by a couple of scores early, have a bad turnover, and let things snowball on you. You got to be able to handle the atmosphere and not let things get turned up in that first 15 minutes. So, playing within yourself, not trying to do too much early, showing that you can match up physically over that first half and try to establish some sort of ground game, I think is going to be critical. You don't want to be throwing the ball 40 times a game in that type of scenario. But I do think it's going to be interesting for North Dakota, because they have some kids with a chip on their shoulder with something to prove. And they realize this is the first Big Ten opponent in a while. And I agree with you, Kyle. If North Dakota weathers the storm and doesn't have a bunch of things just go bad early, whether it be a special teams blunder or a turnover or explosive plays that are given up, I think they can settle in and at least give the Huskers a game and show the fact that we can compete with this club and compete with this team. So, right. But it's all going to be determined how they're able to play up front.
Looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great game, and it's an opportunity for a Valley team again to kind of not just assert some dominance, but like the Valley, not just NDSU, but the Valley as a whole has a lot of chances this week and the next couple of weeks to take down some Power 5 opponents, which is pretty fun and pretty exciting, and one of them is UND. Brian, always appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us, and looking forward to this year and catching up with you a little bit more on the Missouri Valley Mix.
Hey, appreciate being with you guys. Thanks.
Of course.
The South Dakota Coyotes.
And with that, we switch topics and go right over down the road to Vermillion, South Dakota with the Coyotes and John Thayer. Nice enough to give us some time. I know we kept you on the line there for a few minutes. John, you still with us? You good?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I was just, sitting back, listening to Brian, Shawn, all the knowledge that he's floating out on the radio. So it's a good time.
He's got a few things to say, no doubt about it. They've got Nebraska. They've got a Big Ten opponent. You guys got a Big 12 opponent and a familiar opponent to all of our fans up here with K-State and Chris Kleiman and company. So that's going to be a fun matchup for week number 1.
It should be. Obviously a challenging matchup for USD, but I think, there's a few guys on this team that were on the team in 2018 that felt like they let one get away in Manhattan, gave up a punt return for a touchdown in the fourth quarter, kind of flipped momentum, and then a late touchdown for K-State, and USD missed I want to say it was a 51-yard field goal to tie the game in the final play at Kansas State. So you kind of felt like one got away. Obviously, it's a very different Kansas State team that USD will play, and I think this is a very different USD team as well. So it'll be interesting. Night game under the lights, always a great atmosphere at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, and should be a fun Saturday night.
What do you think are the keys? What does USD have to do well in this game to pull an upset against Chris Kleiman? We know him well. We know the kind of style he's going to play. What do you have to do well to knock them off down there?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. I think number one that stands out is you got to find a way to keep track of Deuce Vaughn. I mean, I think Deuce Vaughn might be one of the best running backs in the country, and he exploded last year. I think he had 18 touchdowns on the ground. He is a phenomenal pass catcher as well. So linebackers are going to be tested in pass coverage with him coming out of the backfield. And then, offensively, I think they're really going to have to I think the offensive line is going to be tested in this game because I think Kansas State's going to have a tremendous defensive line. Obviously, the Big 12 Player of the Year is coming back, and so I think that, the offensive line with its test, if they hold up early in this game, I think it'll build confidence for USD and give them an opportunity. But certainly, the game in the trenches, it's always won that way. Chris Kleiman knows all about that because that's how he built, was a part of winners at North Dakota State and continued that as North Dakota State has always been really good in the trenches, both sides of the ball. And so he's kind of building that at K-State, and I think it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see how Adrian Martinez plays for Kansas State. Obviously, a lot of our fans double up as Husker fans, and they're very familiar with Adrian Martinez, and Like Adrian Martinez had quite the ride at Nebraska, very up and down, but needed a breath of fresh air, and he's gotten that at Kansas State, and it sounds like he's really embraced it.
Yeah, Adrian Martinez up and down in Nebraska, to say the least. As a Husker fan, I can confirm there. I wanted to ask you about, do you think Bob Nielsen's familiarity with Chris Kleiman, going back to the FCS days, going back to his days at North Dakota State, it wasn't that long ago that he was there. Do you think that plays a role in kind of helping USD in this game?
Excuse me. It's funny. I talked to Bob about that last night on our weekly radio show that we have on Monday nights, and he said, my time with Chris Kleiman goes way back to when we were both coaching in Iowa and everything, even before USD and NDSU. And I don't know if it helps much. I mean, I think that both coaches are obviously familiar with what the other coach might try to do, but very different teams, I think, than what you've seen. Kansas State looks a little bit different, I think, than what maybe Chris Kleiman had at North Dakota State. And USD has certainly changed since that time as well. So I think maybe some of the decision makings, it's kind of like part of the chess match, if you will, on guessing what the other coach might try and do in certain situations. But I don't know how much it helps. I think it'll be kind of a wash there, because I think the teams are very different.
I think I've asked you this question a couple of times the last few years, maybe every year for the last couple of years. What are the expectations there at USD? We look at that schedule, and it seems like it's murderer's row early on there, John. We've gone through that before, but with Bob Nielsen, he's been there for a long time. You've had some success. You've gotten to the playoffs. Had some success in the playoffs as well, but also had some years where you thought they'd be better, and they've never really gotten over that hump of getting to a semifinal or getting to Frisco or anything like that. What are the expectations there to keep him around and keep things moving on the right path?
I think the expectations are kind of shifting into the be a playoff contender, every year, and then obviously the goal is to win when you get into the playoffs. And you look at what USD did last year. They had a really good season, and unfortunately dealt with some injuries late in the year that really hurt down the stretch in the end of the regular season, and then obviously in the playoffs against Southern Illinois. And any team who has a lot of success and then maybe some things start to go south, it typically points back to some injuries as a possibility. With being a factor to that. So I think that their expectations year in and year out are no different than any other team. It's make the playoffs. It's get in there, compete at a high level, and win in the playoffs. And USD is going to have to play really good this year to make the playoffs because of what you said, the start of the year, the schedule. I mean, you play a Big 12 team to start, and then you go to 3 of your next 4 games are against perhaps the 3 best teams in the FCS, certainly top 5 teams in the FCS. And so it's going to be one of those years that you're challenged extremely early, and then how do you hold together? How do you hold together mentally as a group, and then how can you turn things around? We've seen, a team like Northern Iowa seems to do this every year. They get off to a struggling start because of their schedule, and then they win a bunch late, and they make the playoffs at 6-5, and they have a chance to win, in the playoffs even at 6-5 because of their schedule. So, it'll be interesting. I think USD is a team that a lot of people aren't sure what USD is going to look like. I think they've got a lot of more depth than they've had before in a lot of areas. I think they've got a lot of talent, and I think for this team to be really good, a lot of players that many people don't know their names yet are going to have really good football years for a year for USD to be considered into the playoffs. And so it'll be an interesting start to the year, obviously starting Saturday night, but our fans have looked at the schedule, and USD could play really, really good football and be 1-4. They could play good football and be 2-3 or 3-2, and so it'll be an interesting stretch for sure, and we're excited about it.
Well, again, you kind of answered my question there. What I was going to ask, you look at the schedule in the first 5. I'll just remind our listeners: Kansas State, Montana, Cal Poly, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. What do you think the record has to be through that 5-game stretch, that 5-game gauntlet, for them to feel like, okay, we still have a good chance at making the playoffs here?
Well, I think you still have a decent chance of making the playoffs, even if you're 1-4. I think if you're 2-3, honestly, I think you feel really good about that. in that stretch. Anything better than 2 and 3, I mean, you just as well as book up a playoff ticket, because that's a pretty good run through that stretch. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. The hard part about answering that question is you look at the remainder of the schedule, and USD's remaining home games after that are all preseason top 25 teams. So you get the top 25 teams at home. You don't get Western Illinois this year. You don't get Indiana State, but you do have some challenging road trips to Illinois State. Not sure what they're going to look like this year. Youngstown State, which always seems to be challenging road trip. I don't know if I've ever seen the sunshine in Youngstown, Ohio.
Neither have I. Never.
It's always there's always rain or clouds, whatever is going on there. So certainly it's a challenging schedule all throughout, but that's just part of being in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. And then when you build a non-conference schedule, years in advance, you knew Montana was going to be good because they're always a contender. Cal Poly will be better than what we saw last year, and then you got a Kansas State team who I think their fan base honestly is more excited about this Kansas State football team than they've been excited about K-State football for a very long time. So it'll be interesting, and we'll see. USD's got to try to get to a 6-5 record to be considered to the playoffs, and obviously we're hoping for better than that.
Who are the two teams that USD has on the schedule? I'm guessing SDSU is obviously on there. Who's the other team that's going to be on the Valley schedule every year? Is it UND? Do you know?
I don't know.
I'm just looking at the 2023 schedule. I don't see UNI, Missouri State, and Illinois State, so I was guessing it was obviously SDSU's on there every year. I know it's not NDSU. I was kind of guessing it might be UND on it.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right. I think it's UND and SDSU that are kind of the protected games, or I don't even know if that's the right word, but that are going to be opponents every single year.
Yeah, I mean, I like it not having Missouri State and UNI on there for the next couple of years. That helps, and I think Illinois State might be better. So I think it kind of works out well for the Coyotes and for John Thayer. John, always great to have you on. Appreciate the time, sir. We kept you so long the music ran out. That's how long we kept you. So I appreciate you sticking on with us for a little bit. And good luck on the call. That's going to be a fun one for you guys there down in the Little Apple.
Yeah, I appreciate it very much. Glad to do it anytime.
There he is, John Thayer, voice of the South Dakota Coyotes. Our Missouri Valley Mix brought to you each and every week by Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. Todd Cattermas, the official realtor of the Bison. When you need to be moved, Todd Cattermas is here to assist you with all your real estate needs. Call 701-371-4234 or stop by 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty, moving the herd one home at a time. We'll take this right up to the hard out, and then we'll take a break, and we'll come back for hour number 2. We will hear from our good friends at Farmers Mutual of Nebraska to kick off the second hour, and more conversation on Trey Lance, because I think that's an important thing to kind of break down today on how Jimmy Garoppolo staying with the 49ers affects Trey and affects their team going forward here into year number 1 of Trey being the starter. He is the starter. It's still not a question. He's absolutely the starter, but now Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be there. And any other big names that maybe got cut or will get cut potentially today from NFL rosters. We'll go through that kind of stuff here all in hour number 2. Plus Jen Lopez, the head coach of NDSU Volleyball, will also stop by the program. Taking a look at those two teams, UND and USD, which one do you think more likely upset this weekend?
Upset? Ooh.
And I'll even throw another one in there. I'll throw SDSU's taking on Iowa.
I don't... Well, obviously SDSU is the best team out of the three.
Correct.
When we're coming from the FCS.
But probably taking on the best team.
Iowa's probably the best team. I don't think Iowa's they kind of match up. I guess they're kind of both smash mouth, like physical teams. South Dakota State likes to play that way. Iowa likes to play that way. I don't see South Dakota State with that upset. And I'm not going to pick my former head coach to get upset. So I'm going to go with UND because I'm a pessimistic Husker fan. I think, again, for all the reasons I've said yesterday, for the things I've said today, I think there's a chance Nebraska has a little bit of a hangover. They might overlook them. I think Nebraska will come out fiery, but kind of like what Brian Shawn said there, like if things don't go well for Nebraska early, they might be like, oh, here we go again. And if it's a
it's in their mind,
if it's 100%. I've been in that situation before. It's almost like if it gets to that one-score game late, the Nebraska players are going to be sitting on the sideline thinking, okay, what's going to go wrong? That's going to be going through all their minds, I promise you, because I've been on teams like that with the Chargers. We couldn't win one-score games. I don't know why.
Here it goes again.
Couldn't do it. So I'm going to go with UND.
Okay. All of our game week coverage, NDSU and Drake, and all the games here in week number 1. Our game week coverage brought to you by Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, providing dependable insurance coverage that's local to you and backed by exceptional service and financial strength. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you. We'll hear from Nate Weber of Farmers Mutual of Nebraska when we come back here on The Insiders on a Tuesday.
Did you know hyperbaric oxygen can decrease inflammation and speed up your healing process dramatically? I'm Menley with Fargo's first hyperbaric oxygen center, Healing with Hyperbarics, conveniently located off 45th Street. We are celebrating 4 years in Fargo, and as the experts in treating concussions, brain injuries, sports injuries, and post-COVID symptoms, we welcome you to find out how we can help you heal. We have an FDA-approved device to diagnose concussions and can treat the same day to get you back to feeling better faster. Find out how we can help you at healingwithhyperbarics.com.
Hi, this is Chris with Express Employment Professionals. The annual sugar beet harvest is here, and we are now in the process of hiring over 1,300 people. And you could harvest yourself up to $3,200 in just 2 short weeks. Positions are filling fast, so pile on and call today, 888-791-6738. Express Employment Professionals. The annual sugar beet harvest is here, and we are now in the process of hiring over 1,300 people. And you could harvest yourself up to $3,200 in just 2 short weeks. Positions are filling fast, so pile on and call today, 888-791-6738.
With over 900 vehicles in stock, Corwin Auto has you covered. Looking for better fuel economy? We have it with hybrids and electric vehicles. Need more room for that growing family? We have it. Upgrade to a van, SUV, or crossover. Need more horsepower to work and play harder? We have the biggest selection of new and used trucks in the area. Get exactly what you are looking for and don't settle when you can shop over 900 vehicles on the lot and ready for immediate delivery. Corwin Auto has you covered. Shop online, corwinauto.com.
NDSU football takes the field September 3rd on Bison 1660. We're here with you before the game.
Andy Rickoff and James Hendricks here with you on Bison Game Day, getting you ready for NDSU football.
During the game.
Looking over center, it's caught! It's a touchdown! It's a touchdown!
And after the game.
Welcome into Bison Hotline. Andy Rickoff, James Hendricks, Chris Hansen here with you on the show.
A full game day of green and gold every Saturday. The national champions play here on Bison 1660. Fall is about tradition. Tradition on the field with Bison football and tradition in the cooler with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. When you're enjoying a clean sack or a perfectly timed touchdown pass, let the crisp, cold, clean taste of Bud Light tackle your taste buds. The only bigger crowd pleaser on Saturday is another Bison win. Whether it's in the tailgate zone, a couch gate at home, or inside the Fargo Dome, the Bison go best with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. Please drink responsibly, never drink and drive.
Invest in your community with Epic Companies. Hey, this is Mac. Have you been looking to diversify your portfolio and dive into real estate? We offer multiple types of investing through our mixed-use buildings and entertainment plazas. If you are an accredited investor and interested in hearing more about the investment process and how you can be part of enhancing the quality of life in the area, visit epiccompaniesnd.com to review our investment options. That's epiccompaniesnd.com.
KQWB, West Fargo, Fargo Moorhead, and KPFX, HD3 Kindred, Bison 1660. Powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
And here's what you need to know.
Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers agreeing to a restructured contract on Monday. Reports say Garoppolo becomes the highest-paid backup quarterback in the league, $6.5 million for the year with incentives and a no-trade clause. Some trades in the league this morning. The Saints are trading defensive back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to the Eagles after extension talks broke down. The Broncos are sending linebacker Malik Reed to the Steelers. Multiple outlets reporting the Ravens will sign free agent running back Kenyon Drake today, with J.K. Dobbins' Week 1 availability in doubt and Gus Edwards missing the first 4 games. It's cut-down day in the NFL. The Vikings waive quarterback Kellen Mond. Browns release quarterback Josh Rosen. The Colts release former Pro Bowl running back Phillip Lindsay. And the Chiefs cut veteran wide receiver Josh Gordon. And finally, Live Golf made official the arrival of 6 former PGA Tour players, including Open champion Cam Smith. I'm Nick Cope.
You've got the Insiders.
How you play today, from this moment on, is how you will be remembered.
That's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face.
Bringing you what you need to know and a whole lot more. Topics you care about, guests you know, and the conversations you came to hear. The Insiders are presented by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed. Now, here are the Insiders.
The Insiders.
The Insiders. The Insiders.
Insiders.
The Insiders.
Andy Rickoff and Bison great Kyle Emanuel.
Welcome back to the Insiders. It is game week, folks. We are getting ready for game number 1. NDSU versus Drake. The Bison on the hunt for that 10th FCS national title, and our game week coverage of NDSU and Drake, the national championship banner raising inside the Fargo Dome, the season opener, and the real kickoff to the season. All of our coverage brought to you by Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, and very happy to be joined by the district manager for North Dakota by Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, one Nate Weber, stopping in studio with us. Always appreciate your guys' time, Nate. Your company's sponsoring the first game as well. That's great. Looking forward to kicking off another year with NDSU and kicking it off with the fine folks of Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been a year since I was here. Last season was so much fun to follow, and we're hoping they pick up right where they left off last year.
When we were chatting before the show, you mentioned how much Farmers Mutual's team has grown here in North Dakota recently. Can you touch on that a little bit for our listeners?
Yes, we are experiencing substantial growth throughout the North Dakota market. The state welcomed us with open arms in late 2020, and since then we've continued to welcome new policyholders to the Farmers Mutual family. And to ensure that we're providing exceptional customer service and handling claims in a timely manner, we're actively hiring claims adjusters across the state. In fact, as you know, we had to reschedule this very interview because we had a new team member starting.
It's a crazy time. You guys are growing a lot indeed, no doubt about it. I read in a news article recently that Farmers Mutual has had a record-setting year for weather-related claims activity as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and how the weather is affecting some of the people out there?
Farmers Mutual is a property and casualty insurer, so we specialize in insurance for your auto, farm, and home. And we're the largest insurer of farms in South Dakota and Nebraska, so weather definitely impacts what we do. And this calendar year has broken some records, and it's not over yet. Farmers Mutual has seen its second, third, and fifth largest loss events in our 130-year history this year alone, totaling nearly $300 million. While we can't predict future weather disasters with certainty in the states we serve, our experience suggests that we should expect an increased frequency and severity of these kinds of events in the future. And this only highlights the fact of how important it is to have an insurance partner at your side so that they can help you get back up and going when the unexpected occurs.
And a great partner is Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, your presenting sponsor of our season opener against Drake and National Championship banner raising day as well. The industry experience is definitely something that Farmers Mutual has, Nate. Speaking of which, you just crossed a major milestone, so congratulations on this, achieving 100 consecutive years of being rated A or better by AM Best, the recognized insurance company rating agencies. That's a pretty cool milestone for Farmers Mutual.
Yes, and this is something that we are very proud of. And being rated A, excellent, or better, especially holding that rating continuously for 100 years, is something that very few companies are able to achieve. Only 7 property and casualty insurers have maintained this achievement longer than Farmers Mutual. We're proud of our financial strength and dedication to providing peace of mind for generations to come. With over 1,500 independent agents offering Farmers Mutual policies, there's an agent ready and able to assist you with your insurance needs.
And also our presenting sponsor, Farmers Mutual Insurance of Nebraska, presenting sponsor of the season opener here against Drake, another national championship banner-raising event. How cool is it for you guys? I mean, obviously you're partnering here, big NDSU fans there at Farmers Mutual. Championship, another one, add another year to that national championship banner inside the Fargo Dome.
It's been a great partnership for us, and we're very happy to be a part of it. And following the Bison has been a lot of fun for the past 2+ years.
You were telling me also earlier that you're from Nebraska originally. You kind of saw a little bit of Cole Payton, high school Cole Payton there.
I did see him play in high school, and he was electric, I would say. He was very, very fun to watch. A very talented football player.
Yeah, someone we're definitely looking forward to watching on the football field as well. You keep track of a lot of the Nebraska kids up here for NDSU.
I do. And even before I moved up to North Dakota, I was able to follow quite a few of them. And it's been very, very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, NDSU and Nebraska has been a good partnership in terms of recruiting players. There's no doubt about that one. Easton Stick also jumps to mind, and our good buddy Kyle Emanuel. But we also think of the great partnership with Farmers Mutual of Nebraska as well. And nice enough to be joined here by Nate Weber, the district manager of North Dakota for Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Where can folks go to find out more information about what you guys got going on?
They can go to our website. They can visit www.fmne.com.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you stopping in.
Thank you, Andy.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, our game week sponsor of week number 1, NDSU and Drake. Kickoff at 2:30 from the Fargo Dome Gate City Bank Field. Our coverage starts at 8:30 in the morning with the Bison Report show, and Ross Uglum debuted that logo yesterday. It's a lot of Ross's face. A lot. He is, I believe, okay with that. If not, he's going to have to get okay with it because that's a logo. But also, yeah, why not let people know Ross is doing the show. So, that will start off our coverage, 8:30 to 10:30. And then the Bison Tailgate show with Brad Jones at 10:30 to 11:30. Myself and James Hendricks for a couple of hours from Thunder Alley on the bus. Still never done a show from the bus. Fingers crossed nothing breaks down right before I go on this time. Knock on some wood there. And then we got network pregame with Rob Hipp, the Hall of Famer Phil Hansen, and Cole Jurek on the sideline starting 1 hour before kickoff. And all of our game week and game day coverage brought to you by the great folks there at Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Our thoughts on what's happening with the 49ers and some other maybe somewhat surprising cuts across the NFL, and a check-in on all the pro buys and all that and more here in hour number 2 on a Tuesday.
North Dakota State football plays here. Bison 1660.
Mark your calendars for September 24th and join the 14th annual Celebrity Dinner and Auction at the Fargo Air Museum. The celebrity plane for 2022 is the F-101B Voodoo. This is in honor of the North Dakota Air National Guard winning the 1970 and 1972 U.S. Air Force aerial gunnery competition under the direction of Major General Alexander McDonald. Salute to the winning legacy is this year's theme. Enjoy an evening of entertainment, food, live and silent auctions, and more. Purchase your tickets at fargoairmuseum.org.
This summer, I'm planning to make memories for a lifetime. Sightseeing, family adventures, long weekends, and the activities I love most. I know my memories will be clear because my vision is vivid thanks to LASIK from Vance Thompson Vision. All the summer activities I love are better with LASIK because I'm free to enjoy life and see the bright, beautiful colors. To make this your best summer yet, visit VanceThompsonVision.com to set up your free LASIK consultation.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails, an extensive bourbon selection, to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree man-sized drafts. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Welcome back to football season, Bison Nation. It's week 1 as NDSU looks to defend their national title yet again. The first opponent is the Drake Bulldogs out of the Pioneer League. All of our game week coverage is brought to you by Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Stay locked into the Insiders all week long and locked in on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for all the latest coverage of NDSU football. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, providing dependable insurance coverage that's local to you and backed by exceptional service and financial strength. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
No matter where you work, whether it's at your kitchen table or in the office, you need to collaborate with your team. ProConnect from Consolidated Communications makes it happen. You'll never miss a call when you can answer from your desk phone, laptop, or cell phone. And you can communicate instantly using real-time messaging. Confidently connect with customers over secure video conferencing and work together to create and share documents. Get ready to connect, collaborate, and communicate brilliantly. Choose ProConnect, your team collaboration tool from Consolidated Communications.
The construction is almost done at the Gateway Clearance Center, and the construction sale is going strong. No negotiations necessary, and payments starting as low as $99 a month. That's right, payments starting at just $99 a month at the Gateway Clearance Center, with a great selection of clean used cars, trucks, and SUVs. And right now, every vehicle is sale priced. Enjoy extra discounts for the construction sale going on now at Gateway Clearance Center on South University Drive in Fargo, or online at fmclearancecenter.com.
Take us with you wherever you go with the Bison 1660 app. Powered by Thunder Seed, first in the field. Now, back to the Insiders.
Some people have checked out our Facebook page. Like I told you guys in the first segment, we're giving away so much every week. It's worth your time to click the like button, the follow button, whatever it is, on our Facebook page, on our Twitter account, and also on our new Bison 1660 YouTube page. Subscribe there. We'll have a whole bunch of interviews, video content. The video of the show is up on YouTube every single day as well. So a lot of ways to take in the show. Make sure you're following our accounts there. But some people have checked out the Facebook page and found the post that went out this morning about our Friday football tailgate giveaway, our ultimate tailgate package, courtesy of Bud Light, the official beer of the Bison and DS Beverages. But some people haven't. So make sure you go check it out, because as a keyword, on that post is a keyword. You got to text in. I'll say the keyword, but not until like Thursday or Friday. Just because I want you to visit the Facebook page.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, so
that's
the
fair.
And it will change every week. So there's a keyword for this week, and we'll send it out basically every Tuesday. There'll be a post about the upcoming Friday, what that week's keyword is. Some people have texted that keyword in. It's on our Facebook page. Find the keyword of the week. Text it in to 701-476-1660 for your chance to win the ultimate tailgate package. A case of Bud Light, some Bison swag, some glassware in there, a whole bunch of goodies. So make sure you are a part of that one. Call Your Shot is back on Fridays, courtesy of Homewood Suites. If you are closest to the correct score and winner of the game on Friday, then you win a free night stay at Homewood Suites. All you have to do is, again, Facebook page, look for the Call Your Shot graphic that goes out Friday morning. If you comment on that graphic before kickoff on Saturday, if you're right, if you're closest, you win the free night stay. That's all you have to do to win that one. And the tailgater of the game is going to be in the tailgate lot every home game. Chris Hansen, you know what he looks like. You know who he is. He'll be walking around. Find him. Bring him to your tailgate spot. If you're the tailgater of the game, Chris Hansen will give you a nice gift card, a sizable gift card to Twin Peaks here in Fargo.
You should check the text line right now.
Should I
make sure you check it.
I'll check it. Oh, look, a new text came in. Somebody found a keyword or something like that.
Did you see the number?
Oh, I did see the number. It looks somewhat familiar on that one. It's in, but he's registered.
Hey.
Registered.
That's me.
Doesn't mean you're going to win.
That was me.
That was you.
That was me. I just went online, I found the keyword, and I texted in.
And you typed it correctly.
I was just going to ask that. So if someone makes like a typo, I'm not going to say the word, but if they make like a small typo, does it?
Nope, it's got to be correct.
It's got to be correct, okay.
It has to be correct. No, don't add an emoji. People do that every once in a while. Add an emoji. Try to add an exclamation mark. Fortunately, you got to text what is in there.
Okay, well, that's what I did.
That's the only way you get entered in. It's a different keyword every week. So you got to make sure you're following along with us to win that ultimate tailgate package.
You can take me out of contention. I just wanted to.
You're in there.
I just wanted to do it.
Yeah, you won't win week one.
Good.
Somebody else will.
Good.
Because we got other tailgate packages for you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, fair enough. So that's how you win, guys. Go there. Look at our website as well. Bison 1660 Road Tour. You want a yard sign? We got yard signs for you. You want tickets? We got tickets we'll give away every week at the Bison 1660 Road Tour stops. We're at Sicky's tomorrow. We're at Shields on Thursday. Make sure you're out there and watching the show, because we appreciate you guys coming out, and we got stuff to give away to each and every one of you out there at the shows. Our Bison 1660 Road Tour is brought to you by The Bridges. You can book a tour today online at bridgesnd.com or go tour for yourself in person. The Bridges right up there by campus across from the Shack. They make college living easy and all-inclusive pricing, water, electric, cable, internet. It is all included in your monthly lease. Talked about Trey Lance a little bit in the first hour. I wanted to dive a little bit more into it. Didn't have a ton of time. With Jimmy Garoppolo staying on, restructured deal. He's going to be making $6.5 million this year, down from, I believe, $24 million. So cut that thing way down in order to stay there. That was a must-have for the 49ers. He'll be making less than Trey Lance, for whatever that means. If you want to dig into that, you can. But that was a stipulation from the 49ers. He has to be making less in base salary than Trey Lance. Now, if Trey were to get hurt and Jimmy plays like 5-6 games, there are incentives to push that number up for Jimmy. But right now he's making less than Trey Lance. If that means something, then I guess it can mean something to you or people in the locker room. Do you think it does mean something to players in the locker room that Trey's getting paid more?
I don't think so. I don't think the players care. I think this is more an organizational thing. Like, hey, we can't be paying our backup significantly more than the guy who's starting the games, the guy who we've given the keys to the car, so to speak, to the offense and to the team. Like, you can't be making more. So I think it was more of an organizational thing. I'm more curious and I haven't dove into this a ton yet, but like, why do you think Jimmy G decided to accept this? Like, it makes sense. I talked about it. It makes sense for the 49ers, but if you're him, do you not want to test the open market a little bit?
Well, he wasn't on the open market. I guess he could have gotten cut. Could have gotten himself cut.
Get yourself cut, get released, and then I know there's positives and negatives to both, right? But I'm wondering, his mindset, was he just simply okay being a backup, or does he think maybe it's better for me, rather than getting cut and getting claimed off waivers or however that part works, I'll just stick around on this team, and then hopefully in a couple weeks I can get the trade that I want.
Either there's a couple of weeks, or I think if you're Jimmy G, you're saying, what's the best thing for me long term? He wants to be a starter long term, obviously, right? What's the best thing? Getting cut, and you go. Let's say you go to
no
Cleveland.
Say over it.
Let's say you go. Is Cleveland really? It's a good team. Might win a lot of games. I don't think Cleveland. Not even for a year, for 11 weeks, and they probably. I think they have to go back to Shawn Watson, right?
Well,
you have to.
Paid him more money than anyone in the history of the game. I would think so.
Even with everything that's gone on, I feel like you have to if you're them. Do you want to? That'd be a good spot. You might win some games and catch on somewhere the next season and prove you still got it. But do you want to go to the Giants, who are a dumpster fire? Do you want to go to Houston, who's not that good? I'm just trying to name teams that might be interested, and I don't think Houston would be interested. Like, where do you want to go that you think could be a better spot? Now, is he going to play in San Francisco? No, but. And here's the but. Trey Lance, more of a running quarterback, a little bit younger, with the style that they want to play. He's going to be exposed more. There is a chance that Trey gets hurt. We don't want that to happen, but if I'm thinking from Jimmy G's standpoint, there's a chance Trey Lance could get hurt. I know this system. I'd have to learn a brand new system right before the season at those other spots. I know this system. I know it fits me well. I can prove I can play. And even if he doesn't get in, I still think there's value. Like, even if he doesn't get in for a single snap this next year, you go into that next offseason, there's still a mystique around Jimmy G. Because the last thing you've seen from him was NFC title game, Super Bowl appearance, all that stuff.
Almost everything you've seen from him outside of a throw in the Super Bowl, like most things you've seen from him have been positive. Even when they haven't been, like, his teams have won. Like, he wins games. He won a lot of games in San Francisco. So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, there's that kind of aura around Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, yeah, this is a guy who's a veteran, who's established, who's played behind Tom Brady before. Like, he is a good quarterback, and I think there's definitely a market for it. But I'm kind of with you in this sense that I think ultimately the reason he decided to sign this contract, to take less money, is because it gives him control. You know, we talked about the no trade clause, and now so the 49ers can't just trade him to anyone that they want. He has to approve it. So now it gives him a little bit more control over just, hey, I get cut, and now it's the first team that's available that wants me, just gets to grab me, and I have no say over it.
The other thing is the 49ers, the reason they do it is because you don't want to lose Jimmy G for nothing, and he's a great backup. He's the best backup in the league.
Yeah.
He's better than some starters in the league. I think that's fair to say. Absolutely. So you have security there, and you didn't want to lose that asset for nothing. Yep. The thing is, now at the end of this year, they'll lose it because it's a one-year deal, right? Then he's a free agent. They would lose him for nothing. I guess there would be a compensatory pick element to that, probably a third or a fourth round or something like that, I would have to assume. But you could still trade him. The other thing is it keeps that asset on your team. It gives you more time to trade him if something were to happen, if there were some injury to another team's quarterback out there. It still allows you to keep a hold of that asset and not have to worry about it. Let's talk, though, about Trey Lance again, how this affects the team. You dove into that a little bit with how it affects the people in that locker room. I'm trying to think from Trey Lance's perspective. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. I'm just trying to think from what he might be thinking. The 49ers went to him. They told him about this. It wasn't just, that's how it should have been handled. Hey, tell Trey, hey, this is what we're doing. I want to be up front with you. You are our guy. This is not an indictment on you. This is not us saying we don't believe in you. This is what's doing what's best for our team now and in the future, and you're going to be the guy. And they made that very clear to him, to Jimmy, and I think to many members of that locker room that matter, the Fred Warners, Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, all those guys, right? They did the right thing. If I'm Trey, and this is part of the business, you have to say the right things. If they say this is what we're doing, you can't say no. You can't throw a fit or anything, and I'm sure he didn't. But you have to say yes, but then when you walk out the locker room, we all have those conversations in life where you walk out of the meeting and you're like, dang. Like, right. I didn't want to have to deal with this. So I wanted more in my salary, or I wanted more here, or everyone has those conversations in life, right? I'm sure that could have been like what it was for Trey. Like, no, of course, I love Jimmy. Jimmy's great. Let's keep him around. He helps me out a lot. This is great. This is fun. I'm totally fine with him still being on this team. Thank you for telling me what it was. And I don't know if he was like this after the meeting or not, but maybe to, just his circle, his people, it's like, I love Jimmy. Again, nothing bad against him, but I'm going to have to deal with this.
Right.
And I don't want to have to deal with this. Even if he plays really well, he's going to have to deal with the questions of Jimmy.
I thought it was interesting. And I agree. Like, I'm glad they went to Trey and talked to him about it and told him, hey, this is what we're going to do. But it'd be awfully bold for a second-year player who's 22 years old or whatever he is. 2 starts, didn't play last year, to be like, no, actually, sorry, front office, you can't do this. Like, I don't think that's in Trey's personality. Now, he could have. He could have done that. He could have went and said, like, what good is that going to do? There's no good that comes of that. So, yeah, of course he's going to say all the right things. Now, the one thing we don't really know is, by all accounts, it seems they have a great relationship. And, there is a small chance that, like, I wouldn't even say small. Like, there's a chance that he's happy that he's still there. He's the guy he learned from last year. He sat behind him last year. Got to learn a lot of things from Jimmy G. There's a chance that he's like, yeah, I'm glad he's staying here. I want him to be my backup. I want him to be my mentor and be the guy that I can go through when I'm struggling. So there is that element to it. There's some positives that can be taken away from having a guy that's still around that but there's also, again, the other side of it of, I had a bad throw, I had a bad game, I had a bad series, whatever it is, and now, is there whispers in the locker room? Hopefully not. Like you said, they went and talked to him, but I know there can be. There can be, like, if the quarterback is struggling and you have a guy, it's not like you have a guy that you don't know anything about. You have a guy you know a lot about right there, second string, he's sitting there, he's ready to play. Like, do the whispers start? If Jimmy G's not there, they don't start. There's no murmuring around like, this is our guy. So that's the one part of this whole equation that you can do everything you want to try and control that from the front office standpoint. You can go talk to your leaders, talk to Nick Bosa, talk to Fred Warner, talk to Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams. You can talk to all those guys, and you can do everything you can to try and ease the tension if there is any.
And they're being honest, like all on board on Trey for now.
Exactly, but at the end of the day, like, they're still humans. They can form their own opinions. They can be different than what the front office and the head coach want. So, we obviously hope everything just goes swimmingly and the 49ers win a bunch of games. I think do they play the Vikings this year? I don't know, but
I don't see the Vikings on their schedule.
Okay, so you can root for him in every game.
Oh, absolutely, will
and we hope it goes well, but we all know football. It's a long season, 17 games. There's lots of ups and downs, and
he's going to have bad games. Yeah. He's absolutely going to have
Everyone
bad
does.
games.
The best. Tom Brady has bad games. I mean, the best players in the world have bad games. But like you mentioned in our first segment, Andy, it's just, how bad is it? Are they losing games, but it's not the offense's fault? Or, throw some picks, but it was, a receiver dropped the ball.
Like,
it just
if he
depends.
has a bad game, but you still win, you can survive that, right? Like, hey, we're winning.
You can.
Maybe it wasn't super efficient, but we're still winning games if he's protecting the ball.
As long as it's consistently winning.
Exactly.
And there's still going to be people probably on the defense and the offense too, like, well, if only Jimmy G would have played, this, that, and the other. It's just
misses a throw, Jimmy would have made that throw.
Yeah, exactly. There's all those kind of little whispers that can.
And we won't pay attention to the plays he's going to make that Jimmy can't make.
Right.
He scrambles around and makes a big play,
it's
throws
always,
it deep.
It's always the grass is greener, right? So, like, oh, well, if only this guy would have been in. And, I know football's not a game of just one play or one series, but there's a potential for that. And that's the risk that they took keeping him on. We've seen this before a couple times throughout NFL history. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but what I'm trying to remember, or what I do remember, it doesn't usually go great when you have a guy like we see it usually with the first round pick sitting behind a guy like last year, like with Jimmy G. And like, what does everyone want? They want to see the first round pick.
Everyone wanted to see Patrick Mahomes over Alex Smith.
Exactly. And so, like, eventually it doesn't work out. Can it work for a season? Sure. I think it can work for a season.
And it did last year.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, for sure.
Year.
But now that the roles have reversed, again, I think it could work for a year. And obviously that's why they only signed with a 1-year deal. But, it's, again, we just hope everything goes well for Trey. That's obviously what we're all hoping for here in Fargo.
Again, it's $6.5 million. He's making less than Trey, if that means anything to any of you. And then a no-trade clause in there as well, so Jimmy can kind of pick his landing spot if he is traded in season. I will say the first 2 games, winnable. 49ers against the Bears in Chicago. Trey Lance versus Justin Fields. I'm sure there'll be no overreactions from that game whatsoever. And then the Seahawks at the 49ers week 2. And the Seahawks should be bad this year, right? So those are winnable games before you have Broncos and Rams the next 2 weeks. But that's the NFL. You're going to have hard games and quote-unquote easier games. But you feel like it's a chance to at least get a couple of wins out the gate for Trey and build some momentum before you take on teams like the Broncos, 49ers. And then the Panthers after that, another somewhat winnable game you would think for Trey Lance in his first month as a starter. We'll take a break. We'll come back. The head volleyball coach for NDSU Volleyball, Jen Lopez, will join us when we come back on the other side. This is The Insiders, brought to you by Proceed, home of the Right Choice and Right Stuff programs, and online at proceed.net. If you need seed, think Proceed. And we are broadcasting live from the Thayer Ethanol Broadcast Center, one of the nation's largest ethanol facilities, a 175 million gallon per year ethanol plant located just west of Castleton. Fuel your future by joining their growing team today. View open positions online at theraldsenethanol.com. Jen Lopez when we come back.
This is The Insiders on your exclusive home for North Dakota State Athletics, Bison 1660.
So most companies claim they have good people, good product, good customer service, but the question is how often. We go the extra mile to take care of our dealers and our growers, and more importantly, their families and their customers.
Proceed tries to bring a family-like experience. Farmers, we want to understand what their challenges are. We also want to bring products to them that help them overcome those challenges so that they can be as successful as possible.
Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net, great seed at a reasonable price.
When you're making decisions about your ag operation finances, you need access to the experts. This is Scott Solandic with Cornerstone Bank. Whether you're just starting your operation or looking to grow, we're here to talk you through those financial decisions. We're the kind of people who get to know you and genuinely appreciate your needs. If you're looking for a bank that's been specializing in ag banking for generations, come see us at Cornerstone Bank.
Cornerstone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Bison Hotline postgame show is broadcasting live this year from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo. Come see the Bison 1660 crew live after every NDSU football game and register to win prizes including Bison 1660 t-shirts, tickets to upcoming games, and a whole lot more. Plus, take advantage of the great food and drink specials at Applebee's. Bison Hotline broadcasting live after every NDSU football game from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo, right across from the Fargo Dome. Horns up.
Bison Nation, Rob Hipp here with the Road to the Ring, presented by Schmidt's Gyms and Fine Jewelry. Another football season is upon us as the Bison look to defend their title and start the road to a 10th FCS national title, opening the season hosting the Bulldogs of Drake out of the Pioneer League. The Bison return a host of starters from last year's national championship team, including quarterback Cam Miller, who is the unquestioned starter and leader of the offense in 2022. With 4 starters back on the offensive line, every running back, including preseason All-American Hunter Lipke back, and Noah Gindorf at tight end, this offense has the potential to be among the best to don the Bison uniform. Defensively, All-American Michael Tutsi patrols the secondary, and Eli Mostart looks primed for a breakout season on the defensive line. Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry has a long history and reputation for quality, workmanship, and rock-solid pricing. Whether diamond engagement rings, custom jewelry, or repairs, let Brenda and the team at Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry create a legacy for your family.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update on Bison 1660.
Tuesday looking like a picture-perfect day outside. 82 degrees for a high and almost completely sunny conditions. Tonight it will stay clear in the skies and will cool down into the mid to low 50s. This weather update brought to you by FM Truck Sales. If you're looking for good, clean work trucks for any size job, check out FM Truck Sales in Moorhead. FM Truck Sales is locally owned with a great staff. Check them out at fmtrucksales.net.
Doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, you're always welcome where there's Jim Beam. Small town guy in a big city guy in a small town. Wherever Jim Beam is welcome, you'll be welcome. Country guy at a rock show, Viking fan at a Packer game.
And the throw incomplete. Oh, what a pressing.
Just look for the Jim Beam, and you know you're always welcome. Your friends at Jim Beam remind you to drink responsibly.
The place you go for all your Bison news first. You've got the Insiders right here on Bison 1660.
Welcome back to the Insiders. Andy Rickoff here with you, Kyle Emanuel, and also Micah Bindi behind the board. Thank you for watching on our Horsch Cam on our Facebook page, Horsch Farming with Passion, online at horsch.com. And you can also email the show, the Rick Electric email inbox, open for you, studio at bison1660.com. Jen Lopez here in just a little bit. All of our game week coverage of NDSU and the Bulldogs from Drake is brought to you by Farmers Mutual of Nebraska. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, providing dependable insurance coverage that's local to you and backed by exceptional service and financial strength. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you. Anything surprise you from the season opening press conference with one Matt Entz? It was kind of a glowing review of Bryce Lance.
Yeah.
Remember that? Probably tomorrow I'll play that for you guys.
Yeah. I thought that was a little bit interesting. We've talked a lot about the receiver group, and there's so many guys to talk about. And the thing about that group, though, is, and again, I don't have a ton of question marks about the guys that are there, but they're all very similar. They're all kind of that slot receiver, a little bit shorter. I mean, Phoenix Sproles is listed at 6 feet, but you just didn't have that Christian Watson guy, and that's why our own Zach Mathis is a guy that I think could really have a big year. I think he's a guy that needs to step up. But, yeah, I thought that was a little bit surprising just because, we haven't seen Bryce Lance play a little. Obviously, everyone's going to recognize the last name. But I think he's a guy you're going to see contribute a lot on special teams. Coach Entz said that. The other, it's not surprising, but just the fact we've talked about a lot the linebacker position, and I think they're going to rotate a lot. I think they're going to rotate at the middle linebacker position. I think you might see some rotation at the outside linebacker position. And then the thing I'm always, he also mentioned Dom Jones. I think Dom Jones is a guy listed as a junior. I'm not sure where he is eligibility-wise, but a guy that is ultimately talented, ultra talented. We've seen him on the field before. I think they're going to find a lot of ways to get him on the field, doing some creative stuff, maybe moving Michael Tutsi down to the nickel position when you get into those passing situations. And I think he's a guy that needs to be on the field. You have some really good safeties there in Dawson Weber and Michael Tutsi, but he's a guy that is just so talented, he's going to find the field as well. So there was some surprising things. I'm not going to say there was a ton, but it was pretty accurate to what you would expect to see from a first press conference from the head coach. Now I think look at the game and Drake, and I think the other thing that he's talked about, he wants to see energy, he wants to see execution. That's always the big thing when you talk about the first game of a season. It doesn't really matter who the opponent is, but can you go out there? Can you not have mental mistakes? Now, mental mistakes are kind of hard to see from a fan standpoint. I will say that we don't know the playbook. We don't know exactly what they were supposed to do on every single play, but the coaches will. The coaches will see it when they go back and look at film. So you want to see a lot of execution, minimize the mental mistakes. Obviously, that's a hard part. And then minimize the dumb penalties. That's always the thing you talk about in these opening games is how many penalties are you going to have. And you can live with the holding. You can live with the pass interference. You call those aggressive penalties. But it's offsides, the false starts, the little things like that. That's obviously things as a head coach you don't want to see.
Well, you're going to get a lot of players in, right?
That's the hope.
That's the hope. That's the thought. You can't just count it as a win. But you're thinking you're going to get a few guys in. That's why you see some of the Ories. You get a chance to see what Dylan Hendricks can do. They've talked about him glowingly, right, in practice, and a change over from linebacker to D-end, and that's going to be different, but we think he can handle it, and we think he's a really talented player. And I get to see it in game action. Now, it's not against the Valley opponent. It's against a quote-unquote inferior opponent. I'll say it. I'm not the coaching staff, right?
It is, yeah.
But so you kind of get a little bit of a taste of what he can do in an actual game setting. Is the mind moving as quick in a game as it is in practice? Dom Jones is a guy I know you mentioned a lot. You'll see some reps there. You think about some of the younger corners, you'll see some reps from some of those guys that you don't always get into the game. You should see a lot of running backs probably through the system, through the game plan, I would think, for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I know Coach Entz was saying stuff about Tamarick, who's working back from an injury and trying just to get into really good game shape. I don't know if there's a carry count, but it's probably like a snap count. Like, hey, let's just see him out there for 10 plays. If he's pass blocking or doing other things, that's fine. Doesn't need to be carries. Let's just see him in game shape. That's what these first couple of games are kind of for some years. Not every year. You might have an FBS game like some other teams have, but this year it's different.
Kind of forgot about that. It was a little bit surprising with the depth chart that he wasn't on the 2 deep. Now, again, we know they're all going to play. They're going to play 4, 5, 6 running backs. Who knows? But Tamarick Williams coming off a little bit of an injury, but I believe it was Kobe Johnson and Dom Ganella were listed as 1 and 2. So based on what we've seen from Tamarick at the end of the season, you might expect him to see there, but with the injury, I guess it makes sense.
It's a little bit of a groin injury for Tamarick from what I've heard. So working back from that, and then once you're healthy, it's about, okay, now I got to get in the game shape because I haven't been able to work out for the last couple of months, basically, trying to heal up from an injury. The one good thing about the injuries is like you actually have a whole off season this year to get back from those injuries. It wasn't spring to fall like
we're still
James Kaiser.
This is the first year still that we're normal, because last year, the fall season was normal, but you were coming off a spring season. Now we finally had the normal, which is still crazy to think about. Like COVID's still somewhat affected. It obviously affected last year, and it all the way up until this offseason, they're finally feeling like normal again.
Absolutely. Let's go talk about another team at NDSU that's already underway. I know football gets going on Saturday, but volleyball has already got underway, and their head coach, Jen Lopez, nice enough to join us right now on the Epic Companies hotline. Coach, great to have you back on again. Thanks for the time. Congratulations. A 3-0 start. That's got to feel pretty nice right now.
Hey, thanks for having me on today. And I would say going into a Tuesday, it feels pretty good.
Yeah, it should feel pretty good. 3 wins in a row. Jackson State, Southeast Missouri State, and Arkansas Pine Bluff at the SEMO Invitational. Let's start off in the first game because we had Matt Larson in here on Friday. He comes into the studio roughly 12:20 or so, and I say hi. He says hi, and he goes, I'm sweating this one out. We're in the 5th set right now. And I was like, yeah, he is full-bore athletic director, already in that mode. Your team was down 2-1. You come back, you win the 3rd set, you force the 4th. It was back and forth with Jackson State, but you win that one. How much can a season-opening win and a comeback win help momentum early on in the season for your bunch?
Honestly, I would say it really didn't faze us. And I say that just because you could have looked at the score and being down 2 sets and just the level-headedness and just calmness that I saw from all the players on the court. They were just ready to go. And so if it was going to take them 5 sets at that point, they were kind of in it to win it. And so honestly, just a lot of grit from our kids and having to work through those ups and downs and being able to put together a W at the end of that is obviously a good thing too. But just kind of seeing the grind from the kids and how they handled it just kind of says a lot about the direction we're trying to go this year.
Jen, first of all, it was good to see you in the airport. By the way, that was a fun.
He's told us about that story. It's great.
Yes, it was great to see you.
It was a pleasant
Kelly.
surprise. It was great to see you too.
Yeah, and so we were talking a little bit in the airport about your schedule, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't realize this, and there might be some listeners out there that didn't realize. You guys are flying out on weekends, playing 3 games, coming home, and basically doing the same thing the next weekend. A lot on the road. Obviously, coming up, you got some home sets, but can you just kind of describe the challenges that come with a schedule like that, or do you like the way that that's set up?
I like it for the fact that it gives us a lot of different looks. So we're able to kind of travel and get out of our region a little bit, seeing different competition, which challenges us in a way where we kind of got to stay on our toes and be able to adapt and respond really quickly. The hard part, though, is prepping for 3 teams in a weekend where you're playing 2 of those games in one day leads to just a very quick turnaround. And so kind of from our end, it's player management and what we got to do to kind of keep ourselves in a good spot, but on the same time, try to learn through what that process is. And it's good to be able to kind of iron some things out with all of the opportunities within preseason, but time on the road for 3 out of 4 weeks can be tough, especially as we start our semester off.
Yeah, so you got the SEMO Invitational, Cape Girardeau down there just last weekend. You're flying out, I would assume, on Thursday this upcoming week, or this current week for Lafayette, Louisiana. Then the Fargo tournament, the NDSU tournament, going on from September 9th and the 10th that weekend right here in town. Talk about having a home tournament. I know that's not necessarily an every year occurrence, but you got one this year.
We do, and COVID kind of put a wrench in some plans and trying to get some teams back to Fargo and, create a really good atmosphere for everybody just because we have such an awesome fan base. And so excited to be on the road this weekend playing some teams, but also knowing, too, that we get to do the same thing now in front of our fans where they don't just have to watch live stats or ESPN Plus to kind of catch some games. And so we just kind of are taking the week as it is. But I know our kids will be ready to be back in Fargo coming up.
So obviously a good start, 3-0. You go 3-2, 3-2, 3-0 with the sweep of Arkansas Pine Bluff early on in the season. So let's just talk about what you like from the team. What are the things that you feel like you still need to improve on for this upcoming weekend?
Biggest thing is just continuing to find that balance within our offense. We have a lot of returners. Most of our kids played last year. And so being able to kind of have that experience, I know, has helped us. Now it's just kind of ironing some things out where we're not just having to rely on a couple kids to kind of get the job done. And so, big focus on our serve and pass game and being able to put ourselves just a little bit more in system more often in order to better be able to set our middle, set our right side, work our back row in there through our offense. And so as we're kind of going into practice these next couple days, it's just ironing some of those things out and just getting a little bit more consistent and comfortable with what we need to do as we head down to Louisiana.
I saw some different names on the roster than what I remember from a year ago, playing some key roles for you this year, Jen. And two of them, obviously, that aren't new names, but are going to be key names for you all year long are Allie Hinsey and Syra Tanchin. Those two were tabbed as Summit League players to watch going into the season. Can you tell us a little bit about those two players in particular and what you see in their games?
Out of all the positions, it's great having some experience from some of your 6-row pin kids and how they went about their off season, how they went about just their own time, kind of during training in the summertime too. They've really positioned themselves to do some really good things. And attack-wise, offense-wise, they're getting a lot of load. I know a lot of teams that scout us can understand that. They both attack at a really high percentage. They're extremely athletic and can do a lot of things with the balls that they're given. And so, no doubt both of them have worked extremely hard to kind of position themselves to see some personal success. But everything that they're doing is working to better everyone else around them. Syra's developed her backcourt game, and it's become a lot stronger, which is going to help her as we can keep her on the court a little bit longer through our sets. But both are doing some really good things. They're fun to watch, and everyone just is able to kind of flow off of what they do, and they're handling themselves really well with what's coming at them so far.
Yeah, it's got to be a comfortable feeling for a coach knowing on the attack you got two players there on the outside hitter positions that you really, really like going into the season. How about some of the newer faces, not necessarily completely new to the team, but newer that you're going to see in terms of prominent roles on the team? Who are some players you're looking for to step up this year?
So we have a lot of returners, so within our middle position and our set and even in our back row. And both Kelly Johnson within the setting role right now has, really kind of established herself, and her consistency and her rhythm, is something that's continuing to get better every single day. And so I'm excited to kind of see what she does as she runs her offense and working with everybody else. And then Ava Schmall has been in our bro position, our libero position, and really kind of commanding the backcourt, making a lot of defensive plays and putting us back in system, which is exciting to see out of her. She's taken on more of a leadership role. And so it's always fun when you kind of see kids as they progress and get older and develop, and just kind of how they kind of come into their positions. And for both Ava and Kelly to be confident and to be a little bit older, you're seeing some of those you're seeing smarter decisions out of the plays that they're making and kind of being able to move on from one ball to the next. In our middle right now, though, we have Michelle Glover and Alexis Bowling. Both saw time last year, and, continuing to develop with where their skill set's at, being able to handle the block and work side to side, and just their vision and reading, but continuing to produce offensively, and I know I talked earlier in working to balance our offense. Both of those two are going to definitely allow us to do that a little bit more. So I'm excited to see how, honestly, just our offense and our defense can kind of transform as we work through our preseason tournaments and games, and then in order to better prepare us here for conference.
And Michelle Glover, a great first year for you, right? The transfer from UIC, 98 total blocks. I believe that was a team high, if I am correct on that one. And over a block a game in Summit League play, too, is one of the leaders in the league in that category. So a great piece for you defensively, and starting to add a lot of things on the offensive side as well. So looking forward to it. Give our fans a quick insight. If they haven't been to a match at the Benson Bunker Fieldhouse, if they haven't gotten a chance to go out there, why should folks go out and experience the awesome atmosphere that is the BBF?
This crew is going to make it fun. They're bringing a lot of energy. They're playing at a really high level, and the pace of the game right now, and what they're doing is some really good stuff. And so I'm excited. I know I get to see it every day. I get to see the hard work. I get to see the grind that, the 15 players are putting in when no one else gets to see. But I'm excited for what is going to happen come this year as we continue through it, because it really is fun to watch. And I know I'm a little bit biased, but I want everybody else to be able to experience it and have fun and honestly create a culture and environment in the BBF that's hard to play in. And I think we have a fan base that can really do that.
Head coach of the Herd on the volleyball court, Jen Lopez. Nice enough to give us some time. Coach, always appreciate it. Thanks for joining us for a bit. Congratulations on the 3-0 start, and we will do our best. I'll do everything in my power to keep you off plane rides with Kyle Emanuel in the future. We apologize for that when we let one slip through the cracks, but we'll be better in the future.
I will say we made it back to Fargo safely, so maybe that was the key. He's got to come with all of our trips.
Yeah, it was a good luck charm.
Now you're tied in.
There you go.
Now you have to go. Now you're the good luck charm. Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck here this weekend down there in Louisiana.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
There she is, Jen Lopez. Nice enough to stop by and give us some time. 3-0 start. That's a really good start. And they've got players on the front row that are really, really talented offensively and defensively. And you got players of the year caliber players in Hinsey and Tanchin on the outsides. You got Michelle Glover, who's great at the defensive side and starting to get even better offensively, one of the top blockers in the game in the middle blocker position. You got some pieces to work with and some returning players, some experience on the back line for Jen Lopez. Get out there to the BBF and support that Bison volleyball team. That tournament again, the 9th and 10th of September here in town. We'll take a break. We'll come back, wrap up the show for you next.
Hear the Herd here. Bison's 1660.
We all want to be part of a winning team, right? Hi, this is Marcus with Steamatic, and I am very proud of our team. Industry experts have voted Steamatic the best method of cleaning with our patented steam cleaning process, our 24-hour service, and highly trained technicians. We do it all from carpet cleaning, air duct cleaning, fire and water damage restoration, and remember, Bison fanatics choose Steamatic.
Steamatic, call 232-4707.
Living at the Bridges has been a great experience for me, and I'm inviting you to come check it out too. Hey, it's Phoenix Sproles. The Bridges has all-inclusive pricing. That means internet, cable, electric, water, everything is included in your 1 monthly payment. And it's right across from NDSU, so I can walk to practice and workouts. The amenities are insane. A fitness center, outdoor courtyard with fireplaces and grills, cyber cafe, and an automated convenience store. Tour today to find out more or go online at bridgesnd.com.
Are you a business owner with remodel plans in the near future? When it comes to your electrical needs, you only need one call, and that's to JDP Electric. JDP's team of professionals will work with you closely and are able to follow a strict timeline to get your project done when it's needed. That way, you don't have to worry about closing your doors and missing any customers or sales. Put your company in the best hands by calling JDP right away. Call 701-232-1991 today to experience the JDP difference or online at jdpelectric.net.
Here on Bison 1660, we love delivering the latest Bison news, but we also love our studio home.
Back inside our fantastic studio. You can't beat this one, folks. We love this place.
Now our home has a new name, the Tharaldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Live shows and the latest coverage of NDSU athletics.
Director of Athletics Matt Larson joining us. Head coach Matt Entz with us in studio.
It's all presented by Tharaldson Ethanol, helping North Dakota lead the energy revolution. Join their growing team by visiting tharaldsonethanol.com.
Get your tickets now for NDSU football's home opener. NDSU takes on Drake University on September 3rd. Get your tickets online at gobison.com/tickets. You'll see the national championship banner raising, and you'll be part of the Herd thundering towards another national championship. Before the game, make sure to stop out to the Bison Corral Beer Garden and grab some food in Thunder Alley with 2 new food trucks, Twisted Spork and Lupe's Tacos. Be a part of the season opener, Saturday, September 3rd. Get your tickets today at gobison.com.
Fall is about tradition. Tradition on the field with Bison football and tradition in the cooler with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. When you're enjoying a clean sack or a perfectly timed touchdown pass, let the crisp, cold, clean taste of Bud Light tackle your taste buds. The only bigger crowd pleaser on Saturday is another Bison win. Whether it's in the tailgate zone, a couch gate at home, or inside the Fargo Dome, the Bison go best with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. Please drink responsibly, never drink and drive.
Sometimes you just get busy, but then again, who doesn't? I'm Kim, owner of Waxing the City, an exclusive facial and body waxing studio for men and women. Don't forget to treat yourself to a great discount. If it's been 6 months since your last visit, or you've never tried Waxing the City, I invite you to try us and get 20% off your first service. Whatever waxing service you're looking for, we offer it. Facial services, bikini, underarm, Brazilian, legs, and back. Schedule today and get 20% off your first service. Waxing the City on 13th Avenue, just west of Target.
The Bison Hotline post-game show is broadcasting live this year from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo. Come see the Bison 1660 crew live after every NDSU football game and register to win prizes including Bison 1660 t-shirts, tickets to upcoming games, and a whole lot more. Plus, take advantage of the great food and drink specials at Applebee's. Bison Hotline broadcasting live after every NDSU football game from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo, right across from the Fargo Dome. Horns up.
Living at the Bridges has been a great experience for me, and I'm inviting you to come check it out too. Hey, it's Paige Vargas, pitcher for the Bison softball team. The Bridges has all-inclusive pricing. That means internet, cable, electric, water, everything is included in your one monthly payment. The units are fully furnished. It has a fitness center, outdoor courtyard with fireplaces and grills, an automated convenience store. And it's right across from the Shack, so I can walk there every day. Tour today to find out more. Online at bridgesnd.com.
Dakota Refrigeration has been helping the Bison succeed behind the scenes. From their training room to their dining room, from milk to medicine, from ice to ice cream, Dakota Refrigeration has been serving Minnesota, Montana, and the Dakotas for over 4 decades. Locally owned and operated since 1974, Dakota Refrigeration is a full-service source for your refrigeration, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and electrical needs. Dakota Refrigeration, located in Fargo, Bismarck, and Minot.
Get your tickets now for NDSU football's home opener. NDSU takes on Drake University on September 3rd. Get your tickets online at gobison.com/tickets. You'll see the national championship banner raising, and you'll be part of the herd thundering towards another national championship. Before the game, make sure to stop out to the Bison Corral Beer Garden and grab some food in Thunder Alley with 2 new food trucks, Twisted Spork and Lopez Tacos. Be a part of the season opener, Saturday, September 3rd. Get your tickets today at gobison.com.
Whether it's the FCS, NFL, or productivity at work, we have you covered.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Insiders on Bison 1660.
Welcome back. Final segment. NFL Cutdown Day. We should mention the Minnesota Vikings did it. They waived Kellen Mond. I was wrong. It wasn't a good pick. Cole Jurek. It was a bad pick.
You staked your reputation on that one, didn't you?
See,
basically.
It wasn't that I thought he was going to be the starting quarterback. It's like I wanted another quarterback. I feel like we needed to take a quarterback. I needed to have some sort of plan for something other than Kirk just holding the franchise hostage every single year. Now, that plan didn't work out. He wasn't good enough, clearly.
But now you got,
I didn't mind taking a quarterback. They just took the wrong one.
Now you got Mullins.
Yeah, Nick Mullins, baby.
Mullins. I was going to say Trey
Mullins Mania.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
Mullins. All right. There you go. You got your quarterback of the future.
Darn right we do. He's the guy, Nick Mullins. Hey, how many quarterbacks can say they broke records from Brett Favre?
I don't know.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers and Nick Mullins. Because Nick Mullins went to Southern Miss and broke Brett Favre's records at Southern Miss. Last time the Vikings traded for a quarterback or got a quarterback in August from Southern Miss, went to the NFC title game.
Was it Brett Favre?
It was Brett Favre.
Okay, so you're making the comparison now. All right,
yeah,
fair enough.
Exactly. This is all about history repeating itself. It's going to happen week 1 when the Vikes take down the Packers.
No comment.
Christian Watson will be. I wasn't going to mention it and try and make myself sound cool. I'll be at the game.
Oh yeah. Is it a work trip or is it a
possible work trip?
Possible.
Yep.
I'm
on the clock. I'm working.
Yeah, you got to do some interviews.
Yeah. Christian Watson will be there. We can. I think at this point, safely assume that our own Ben Ellefson is on the roster for the Vikings.
I think so.
As a third tight end. They cut a different tight end today, which tells me that they're planning on keeping Ben around. He's a great blocker. Kevin O'Connell said in a press conference when I asked him about Ben that he can marry the pass and run game. It looks very similar because Ben can do both well, especially the blocking side. He said he blocked a lot of guys from the 49ers who most people can't do one-on-one, and he made it look relatively easy.
So I think he likes Ben Ellison. I think he's going to be on the team. So a few NDSU Bison that we can talk to that game.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in that third tight end spot, especially the thing that we always talk about, special teams. I think, if he comes in on offense, like you said, mentioned, he can do things in the passing game, obviously do some great things in the run game, but he's also going to be a guy that can be on the punt team, kickoff return. The tight ends are really good on kickoff return. They're used to blocking. Better than me. I hated kickoff return. I was a linebacker. I don't block people, but I gave him my best. But tight ends are really good in that aspect too. So I think some good value with a guy like Ben Ellison on your Vikings.
So you're on like the kickoff, not return, but the kickoff game.
Yeah, I played.
It's more like you.
That's more me.
More defensive.
Until I started getting some concussions, and then I was like, yeah.
Can we take one of these off, guys?
I was like wild. I was reckless as a freshman at NDSU on kickoff. Just no regard for my body. Then I get a little older, a couple more dings, and things are a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. Today's show brought to you in part, by the way, by Valley Service Mechanical. Valley Service has been providing heating and cooling services and installations for more than 40 years in the FM area. Those services have made them an area leader in satisfying the needs and wants of their amazing clients throughout the Red River Valley. Go online right now to valleyservice.net or call them at 701-369-4982. One last reminder, check our Facebook page. There's a keyword on the Ultimate Tailgate giveaway. Text that keyword to 701-476-1660 to be entered for your chance to win our Ultimate Tailgate giveaway courtesy of Bud Light and a whole bunch more giveaways. Follow the social media, folks, as we're going to be giving stuff away because it's football season and we are stoked about it. Tomorrow on the show, a whole bunch more stuff. I don't want to go anywhere. We've got a big-time preview of NDSU and Drake all season long. But tomorrow, stop by Sicky's on 45th Street. Sicky's, 45th Street. That's where we're at tomorrow for the Bison Road Tour.
Summer is usually the time when you're completing a long to-do list. If one of those things requires an electrician, then you need Rick Electric. It's Chris Hansen, and they've done plenty of great projects at our house. Rick Electric's been doing big projects and small projects all over the area since 1964. For your safety and for that of everyone around you, skip the DIY